Today's show is brought to you by Lovable.
Here we go.
It's time for Title Tuesday. Welcome to the Take Studios. We're going to kick...
Danny, not today. You're playing. Get in there. Welcome to Title Tuesday, where me and Simon will be calling the shots. Danny's playing. Join us now for all the action.
Looks like Farouche is almost getting it done on the board. Should still be a draw. He's losing now suddenly.
He's throwing a thorn into the white side, holding on here for dear life. The nerves are kicking in.
He's playing with Ghost, afraid to commit.
Did he lose on time?
The clock is his worst enemy right now.
Oh, look at this. He's trapped his own king in the corner. The black rook is hit as well.
Whoa, is this a blunder?
Checkmate is coming.
Hello everyone and welcome to Title Tuesday here at the Take studio. I'm going to be your host for the day, David Howell, and I'm joined by my favorite Grandmaster in the world and my favorite Ginger in the world. It's the Ginger GM, Simon Williams. Great to have you, Simon. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, David. Thank you for that lovely introduction. So I'm your favorite Ginger in the world. There's not many of us left now, so that's good to know that, David. Yep.
Yeah. And you've been a busy man. You've been commentating on Vaikanze recently. You've been doing a lot of traveling. Yeah, how does it feel to be here in the studio, focusing on Title Tuesday now?
Well, this is one of my favourite places. I mean, I love coming here, love visiting you guys, and it's always so much fun. I often play in Title Tuesday, but commentating is good because I can laugh at other people rather than people laugh at me for a change. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what's been the main challenge for you? You mentioned the playing. It's sometimes up, it's sometimes down. What do you make of the new format that we've brought in? The lack of increment, being faster than ever before?
Yeah, I mean, I love it because it's more exciting. So I like that fact that you get shorter time and you might lose on time. I'm pretty bad in time trouble. I can't move the mouse. Like, it's a bit very sluggish, so it doesn't really work well for me, but I still like it. It's more exciting, and that's good.
Okay, so more exciting as a player and as a viewer, commentator?
Definitely more exciting as a commentator. Harder as a player, but more exciting as a commentator.
And today we, of course, have the luxury of sitting here and watching some of the games, but someone who will be participating in Title Tuesday this week is Danny Rensch, International Master. You might know him as the Chief Chess Officer of Chess.com as well. Danny here flew into Oslo on his way to London for the Speed Chess Championship. We're very lucky to have him. Let's get to know him a little bit better.
Even if my childhood wasn't a secret, I also wasn't able to just bring it into open conversation. And many times I got the question of, well, how did you learn how to play chess? And you know how many times I couldn't give the real answer to that? Because do I really want to say, well, I learned chess at the age of 9 because I was in a cult. And there were bodyguards outside of my window. We weren't allowed to go outside that summer because we were being run off the roads. And then I was abducted and taken away from my mom because I got good at it. Like, you don't open the door and start just talking about that unless you're like literally like a fucking crazy person, right? It's been hard to carry that story and to not feel like I could talk openly about it when people in the chess world wanted to know about my life. I hadn't really ever really said, well, this is my life. I'm sharing it in a way now where I feel probably a little more free than I did before. As unique and weird and messed up as it is to be in a cult where someone said your purpose was chess, and then I was taken away from my mom, and in the end, like, my life fell apart and almost, I almost self-destructed. For me to have somehow found purpose in chess is kind of a weird twist ending, right? All right. I am playing Title Tuesday. Don't remind me. Oh my God, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. It's funny to think about where we've come and how, like, at some point, like, I invented Title Tuesday so I could play in it, like, long ago. When was our first one? It was like 2013. We needed an event for Hikaru to be happy because he had just started playing on our site. I think if you look at my Title Tuesday history, I probably played in a bunch in the first 2 years and then have played like 5 over the last like 10 years. And so I don't get to play that often. The only time I really play is on my phone. Like, I almost never play at a computer anymore. My mouse skills are not what they used to be. I almost prefer a time scramble like on the touchpad, because when I'm with a mouse, I feel so old and slow. I would love to have a plus score, so at least 5 out of 9 would make me happy. I don't think I'm going to win the event, but I'm going to try to win every game I play. That's what I can promise.
And Simon, we were just chuckling there because he is, of course, one of the creators of Tidal Tuesday. He mentioned it was 9 rounds. It's actually 11 rounds, so it's going to be even more tricky for Danny in this event. What do you make of his chances?
Well, I think 5 points. If he gets a plus score, that'd be good, because obviously Danny's been concentrating on lots of other things in his life. As he mentioned, he's not as quick on the mouse anymore, so I think a plus score would be fantastic if he gets there. So yeah, that's what he should hope for, I reckon.
Yeah, and the world knows Danny these days more as maybe a personality, of course, the creator, one of the creators of Tidal Tuesday, one of the brains behind chess.com. But it's going to be fascinating to see. I must admit, I haven't seen him play that much Blitz. I've played with him in a pub a couple of times, informally. But yeah, I think a lot of people will be seeing him play for the first time. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think he's actually going to surprise some people. You've played him yourself, right?
I have, yeah. We used to do rival matches, me and Danny, and he's very dangerous. Yeah, I mean, he's a very talented player, clearly. Mm-hmm. He's an international master, maybe could have become a grandmaster if chess.com hadn't taken over. So I'm very intrigued, and I hope he doesn't score more than I normally score, because that would be bad. But
so the target is
a little bit of competition, but I reckon, like, I think if he gets over 5.5, he should be happy. But who knows? Maybe he could get a lot more.
Yeah, he has warmed up very nicely. Danny Rensch, he did win a Blitz tournament over the board here in Oslo, down at the Goodnight Chess Pub just yesterday. In the meantime, though, as we always do, we've prepared some player cards for 3 players that we enjoy here in the studio. First off, Magnus Carlsen, he sets the benchmark. We have heard that he will be playing today. We've given him a 98 because he tends to win the tournament more often than not. Of course, he didn't win last week, was one of his rare kind of off appearances, but he is the one to chase. This week, just for a bit of fun, Simon, I've gone for yourself. What do you make of the photo, first of all?
Looks like I had a rough night there. Yeah, I'm not sure where you got that photo from, and you can clearly see I'm very happy to be photographed in that picture. Bit bloodshot eyes, but 75, I think that's quite kind, so I'll take it. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, of course, you can beat anyone on your day, Simon. 75 is a great score, but it's hard to be as consistent as Magnus, and that puts into context what we've given Danny Rensch for this week. 69. He is a strong international master, but doesn't play so much these days. So it would be a bit of a shock, Simon, if he were to win the tournament. But do you think that's a fair number?
I think it's an interesting number. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering how you come up with the stats here. I mean, I know you've got a very deep algorithm probably run to work out these numbers. And I think 69 is, probably a number that Danny likes.
Yes, and we can confirm we have a very deep algorithm running for these player cards, full of stats. An attacking genius, Danny, on his day, but maybe some other parts of his game might come into play here in Tidal Tuesday. His mouse skills, that's definitely going to be one to watch. And in the meantime, this is game week 10 of the Winter Split. Of course, Tidal Tuesday in itself is a prestigious tournament, but this is all as part of the Champions Chess Tour. And here we can see their standings overall now. This is a race for a spot in the Esports World Cup. Magnus Carlsen has banked a spot, having won that tournament, the Esports World Cup last year. And the next 6 players will get a golden ticket to the event. Simon, which names stand out to you here?
Well, of course, you got Hikaru, and it wouldn't be correct to not have him in that competition. I mean, him and Magnus are the 2 outstanding players. Faruja, well, they're all incredible players, all very, very good. I mean, Lazaric online. So it's so close. Yeah, I mean, they all will deserve it if they qualify.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time left in this split. In the next split, we should mention that the Speed Chess Championships will be happening in London this coming weekend, where there will be a huge amount of points on the line and automatic qualification spots, potentially for the likes of Hikaru Nakamura, Denis Lazovic, and Alireza Firouzja. So a lot to play for. We should also mention this split alone, the Winter Split. This is now the 10th week we've been going. Magnus standing at the top there. Duda has been very impressive in recent weeks, but other than that, very, very close. Simon, Hikaru has been struggling a bit lately.
Yeah, that's a bit surprising. I mean, I doubt he's going to be there by the end of the split. He's such a good player, but it's good to see this wide range of players really from lots of different countries as well, all competing for this spot.
Yeah, chess is very much a universal language these days, very international flavor to our leaderboard here. But let's check out who's going to be joining us this week. Will it be some of the top dogs? We see Magnus has indeed signed up. I'm not sure where he'll be playing from. Jan Nepomniachtchi, Dubov, Wesley So, Maxim Vachier-Lagrave, Hans Niemann in the pack. I'm scouting down the list. I don't see Danny Rensch, Simon.
I don't know if the computer scrolls that far down. Just to scroll a little bit further. But like Danny said, he hasn't played for a while. It's actually going to be really interesting to see how he gets on. But of course, some top names they're playing. I mean, Niemann just had a very good tournament at Tata Steel. And I'll be interested to see how he gets on. He often does very well. Blue Bomb as well, just comes straight from Tata Steel. So you've got some big names there.
Yeah, and you mentioned Tata Steel. Blue Baum crossed the 2,700 mark. Vincent Keymer, other players were there. Who stood out to you the most? Of course, Nodibek Abdusattorov won it, but who do you think we should be watching out for of those players?
Well, I thought Blue Bum did really well. I mean, he got a good score, but he could have scored a lot more as well. So he's clearly earned his place in the candidates. Vincent was the top seed over there, and he played some very exciting chess. He had a real high number of wins and losses, not many draws, and that's what we want nowadays. We want to avoid those stupid draws. We don't like draws. Let's have more wins and losses. So he played very bravely. And again, I mean, just some of the names at the top. Wesley So, I mean, a legend of online chess, as they all are, really. MVL, one of my favourite grandmasters. It's going to be fascinating. Arjun, everyone, I can't stop. So many names.
Exactly, some big names. You mentioned Arjun there. My biggest surprise as a viewer of Tata Steel was that he struggled again. Third year in a row. I think he's been one of the last placed finishers in Tata Steel. What did you make of that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he's such a great player, and I love the way Arjun plays. He plays very tactical chess, very aggressive chess, but I think that style, it's a lot more inconsistent than someone like Magnus, because he takes risks, he goes for attacks, sometimes a bit unsoundly, more of a Tao-like player. So when things go right, he can beat anyone and win any tournament, but when things go wrong, it can also go the other way, and I think that's probably what happened in Tata Steel. So he'll bounce back.
Yeah, it's easy to have one-off tournament at this top level. Everyone's so good nowadays, right? And you mentioned your hatred of draws. Luckily, in this time format, with the lack of increment, it's very hard to make a draw in Title Tuesday. It has to be a perfect game and has to be played very quickly. So I have a sneaky feeling Arjun or someone like that, maybe Duda, maybe it's his week. Last week it was Dmitry Andreikin who won Title Tuesday. So we see him in the middle of the top seeds here. He's going to be another one to watch, having defeated the likes of Magnus. What do you make of Magnus's chances? It seems like he's winning 1 in every 2 Title Tuesdays almost at this point, which is incredible considering it's such a packed field.
Yeah, I mean, he's always favourite. I mean, wherever he goes, I mean, he could play a golf tournament and he'd be favourite. So he's sort of, he's just the standout player. And I think that's so impressive in the modern era, more so than it was in the days of like Bobby Fischer. Not taking anything away from Fischer, but chess now at the top is it's not much difference really between all the other players. I mean, they're very close, but Magnus is that step above, and he's proven that. So, you can never write off Magnus.
And no Hikaru Nakamura yet, with 1 minute to go before the tournament starts. I heard some rumors that he's busy with another event. I heard some rumors that he might be traveling to London for the Speed Chess Championship, but that would be a pity if Hikaru doesn't join. 50 seconds to go. Yeah, Danny, I'm actually impressed. He's got a very high rating on chess.com, 2,700 blitz. But these players, they're all in the 3,000s that we see on the list. 40 seconds to go. Simon, who's going to win it?
Okay, I'm going to go for Arjun, because I want Arjun to bounce back. So let's say Arjun. Well, Magnus and then Arjun maybe, but yeah, Arjun.
Arjun, we have a few seconds to go. Let's kick off Game Week 10. Whoa!
Oh my
Magnus
God!
has blundered! Magnus has blundered! Checkmate! That's checkmate! That is going to be the best moment of Bynum's career so far.
Good game.
Oh, 6 seconds though. Oh, that feels wrong. That feels so wrong. And okay, he's swapping up the queens.
And look, Magnus, what is this expression?
So sluggish.
Oh gosh, he's not happy with himself in this game.
What is he thinking about Dubov? He does eventually... Oh, apparently it's a blunder due to this move. Dubov saw that queen trade coming. That's why he reluctantly kind of paused there. Blunder, a checkmate in 2 moves. Wasn't the best start. Magnus losing in round 1 last time out, Simon. Yeah, surely that won't happen again. Surely not.
I doubt it, but you never know. I mean, one of the really exciting things about this tournament is that these players get a chance to wear shades and play Magnus Carlsen. And we're off, David.
Wow, and it's not November. Magnus has grown some interesting facial hair here. What is going on with Magnus Carlsen's moustache? Well, he's playing black. He hasn't made a move yet. He's playing against an FM Olhovik here, who we now see appear. Magnus nearly got drawn again against the slayer of Carlsen last week, Bynum. They were seeds apart, very close. But okay, the game is off. And looks like a King's Indian defense.
Yeah, very exciting opening. King's Indian. We always get a lot of action in this this particular variation, with black trying to attack on the king side and white often using that space advantage on the queen side. I'm still looking at that moustache, David. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, we're used to talking about Magnus's hair. That seems to be a weekly subject, but the facial hair, that's a rare one.
I mean, I can't really talk, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, Magnus is always trying out new looks, and it's also great to have the cameras here of the players. And a pretty standard kind of position here.
Yeah, pretty standard so far. Magnus taking a bit of time to decide whether or not to castle. This is one of those interesting positions where if Magnus does castle early, the temptation might be for white to start throwing pawns forward on that king side. First, a pin of the black knight. Magnus, he started playing this opening more and more in recent years, and I wouldn't associate it with Magnus too much. Like, it's a bit more dynamic. We're used to seeing him grind out endgames. He would go white expanding. But he has embraced the chaos that tends to come with this opening. You've played it yourself, Simon.
Yeah, I actually had the King's in defence against Korchnoi in Swiss Open Championships. Obviously, he was quite old then. So, but I'm a great fan of the King's in defence, and it's really interesting to see the evaluation bar. It's always in white's favour because of the space advantage. The engine really likes the space that white has, but practically, black gets loads of sort of counter-attacking chances. But I think white's done a pretty good job here of stopping f5, maybe. I mean, so Magnus possibly has to go on the queen side.
Mm-hmm. Everything's covered. No pawn breaks for black. That's the normal move you want to play. Magnus is playing it very positionally now. The King's Indian bishop tends to be stuck behind its own pawn chain, so he's trying to trade it off for white's better bishop, leaving white with a bit of a silly piece, especially if the white pawns remain on light squares. Bishop on c2, not great. Magnus looks pretty happy.
Big time advantage as well for white here. I mean, this, as you don't get increment at all, that can be very important. And this is a nice move. White would love to push his B pawn, the Barry pawn, but he can't do that easily now.
Yeah, he has to keep the pawns defending each other. The black knight would have swooped in, hitting the white queen if he had been able to push forward with the B pawn. That now means that Olhovik here has a difficult choice. He cannot castle on the queen side. He can't even really think about moving his king that direction because black has an open file. He castles the opposite flank, but now he surely wishes that this pawn was back on its starting square.
Yeah, there's ideas of h5 as well at some point, just trying to open up the king side. And yeah, that G pawn looks a little bit far away from white's king, but very balanced position still. And Magnus spent half of his time, the evaluation bar still very much in white's favour here. And with that last move, the bishop just slides in to a slightly more active square.
Yeah, very odd to see Magnus so slow. Normally he's got a big time advantage, especially in the early few rounds. He tries to use the clock as a weapon, but maybe just getting to terms with the position. A bit unorthodox here. I really do like his last move. Just kind of keeping white guessing. Will he take this knight? Will he take the bishop later? Does white ever dare to break the tension? And that idea you mentioned, h5, Harry. I thought it was going to be a few rounds in before we started talking about Harry the h-pawn, but wow, it's...
Oh, I love this move, David.
Eddie the e-pawn.
It is Eddie the eagle, the e-pawn. And this is a move that I really like. I don't know if it's good, but I like it, David.
Yeah, there was a trap there. If the black queen had taken, there would have been a nasty pin on the e-file. Instead, white has carved out a nice square for himself. And that white knight looks very good, but Magnus is fighting hard here. He wants to distract white from any possible attack against the black king by hitting this pawn, and time is key here.
It is, yeah. I mean, this is looking okay for black. I mean, I thought white could have tried pushing a pawn to attack the knight. Magnus is a pawn up. Obviously, that's going to play a part later on. He's still got this h5 move, maybe, on the side of the board, pushing Harry out the board to try to get a rook in the game, but very, very messy position so far.
Yeah, very messy, but maybe a mistake. That feels like it's in the wrong direction, and Magnus doesn't capitalize there. What was wrong with that knight jump?
I don't know. I mean, I was looking at bishop takes g4, but I don't think it's any more than a draw. And Magnus has seen something here, right? He suddenly realized that he's missed something. I don't know exactly what the move was, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't obvious.
Yeah, let's listen into Magnus to see what he might have missed.
Castles. That looks a bit. Is that the point? Maybe I'll go here. Right. C2. Then.
Okay, it feels like Magnus there was maybe discussing a position just a few moments ago. But it does look like he did miss this nice sacrifice. Bishop takes g4. Now that bishop's gone, meaning that Magnus might have to work a little bit harder to crack open the white king. He was very much focused on the moves there, the calculation. And now he's up on time for the first time in this game, Simon.
Yeah, and his position looks quite comfortable now. I mean, I think white has to use this foot. That's a good move. Has to try using these pawns to open up the bishop, but there's that move, h5. Harry comes into play. Don't we just love a bit of Harry action, David?
Exactly. Harry action and hairy action from Magnus Carlsen. As there we go, he does put pressure on the bishop now. It's going to be difficult to keep that h-file closed much longer. The pawn storm, it looks like the black pawns are the ones doing the business.
Yeah, it's the white king, which is now in trouble. I mean, if it was that g-pawn, you said it all along, David, that pawn that had gone a little bit too far, if you can move that back and place it in front of white's king here, then white would have good attacking chances in the long run. But Magnus lands that first blow, and you can see from his body language, he leant back, very comfortable. He kind of realizes now that he's got everything he wants, and white desperately trying to open things up, but it must be a bit slow here. The black king, quite safe.
Oh, that black king is super safe. It's going to slide across. Okay, if it had been checked, it would have slid across. One final trick. A very nice one from Olhovic there, but Magnus is going to use his rook to block any checks now. There we go. The rook will step back and the bishop is gone. The h-file will be open. Looks like a free piece.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the queen is coming. Oh, hang on a minute. What's happened here? Look at the bar there. It's changed somewhat, and the black king's also very weak here, David.
Wow, Magnus is 1 or 2 moves away here from delivering checkmate. He was probably banking on ideas like queen takes pawn and coming in, giving the kiss of death to the white king, but suddenly white's creating counterplay. The black rook is the main defender. That's going to be eliminated. And, I mean, we see the eval bar. Magnus doesn't. He might not realize that white's counterplay is real.
Yeah, 100% real. Whose king is weakest? It looked like the white's king, but now the black king, and Magnus is starting to realize with his time ticking under a minute. Could this be a massive shock again in round 1?
Wow, almost unthinkable that Magnus would ever lose round 1 in Title Tuesday. For it to happen twice in 2 weeks would be truly shocking. He runs away with his rook. Oh. Shake of the head. What's Magnus thinking about now?
Well, the thing is, you've got c7 after a check on c4 or something. I mean, it's very dangerous. Who's going to land that blow first? White, 37 seconds left.
Oh, he does give a check.
And now surely, and there it is, with the idea of the white rook coming in and landing another check. Very tense.
Wow, that would force the black king onto a square where it blocks the queen and rook combo. Magnus looks shocked in disarray here. He might have to be a bit cynical with the flagging. Yeah. 30 seconds for Olhovic here.
Yeah, I mean, this is, but also there's a queen check here. There's loads of tempting moves for white, but he's got 20 seconds. You've got a flag here. This is why you have that. Okay, the queen diving in. 17 seconds. White is doing very well. Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
He's fallen. He's fallen for something nasty. 11 seconds.
Olhovic only has one winning move. Is to push this pawn forward. He doesn't find it. 8 seconds. Magnus is going to survive. Now he plays it. But now, can Magnus keep advancing with his king? Can he take that pawn? Oh my god, Magnus is going to lose. Oh no! Queen takes knight was winning. Magnus got checkmated in that exact way last week, but not this time. Olhovik doesn't find the way. Magnus survives.
Wow. That was drama.
That was drama. We're watching Danny Rensch now in a time scramble against Grandmaster David Paravian. 8 seconds. Danny, he's 2 seconds behind, but it's a dead drawn endgame. Simon, can he hold it?
Well, again, it's all down to the clock. How quick is Danny going to move here? You've got to keep checking the king, but he's only got 2 seconds left, and I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to lose on time.
1 second. The clock's so red now, and draw by repetition.
0.7 seconds against David Paravian. Oh my gosh, I just drew with 0.7 seconds against David Paravian. What is going on in here? It's the chair. Somebody get that guy checked for fair play, huh? This guy. Somebody get an old fair play check on Dan. How's that? How's that for starting off Title Tuesday with a bang? I'm going to go back to texting and wondering how I even got here. What am I even doing here is the question. But yeah, that was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, David.
What a finish. What a finish, Simon.
What a finish. I think that algorithm of 69 might be a little bit off after that great result against one of the top players in the whole tournament. Well done, Danny.
Yeah, that's incredible. David Paravian regularly challenges into the latter stages. He's beaten the likes of Magnus before, nearly 3,200 on chess.com, and Danny held strong. Probably should have been flagged if it wasn't for that threefold repetition, but he'll take it. Great result. And what about Magnus in the last round? He nearly got checkmated in the exact same way as he was checkmated last week in round 1.
Yeah, he's got to watch out for that checkmate. You might have to teach him some lessons there, David, in the future. And we're now in, and wow, this guy's got a lot of pictures going through. So
it's like a dating profile here. Swipe, swipe, swipe.
Chess Tinder on the case.
Okay, Nitish. Nitish has played the Scandinavian defense. I don't know if that's in honor of Magnus Carlsen, his opponent here. We're seeing that real play out. But yeah, it's a twist on the Scandinavian defense, going after the white pawn with the knight rather than the queen. Magnus playing it very, very safe here. Yeah, he needs to stop putting his king on h6, h5, Magnus, because he always gets mated by this rook on h7. And if his opponent was just slightly more accurate, had slightly more time, it would have happened again.
Yeah, it just came down to the clock that last game. And Magnus, is part of the game, the clock, and his opponent did miss a win or two, but he survived, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, he survived, and Nitish has survived this opening, but it does look slightly better for white. White has the pawn center, can think about advancing maybe even now. And in general, top grandmasters, they tend to value their space. White here has the options what to do with pawns. Black is a little bit cramped. If Magnus can find a plan, though, it does look solid for black.
Yeah, black's very solid, and then black's got rid of this light square bishop, and that's what you need to do in this structure, so all your pieces are okay. There's not really any weaknesses, but can he take that pawn? That is the big question here. If he can take it, then he will, but I guess the queen is a goner if he does. And white's using that space advantage to push black back here, and you'd rather be white in this kind of position just because of the space, and you have more squares to maneuver your pieces on.
Yeah, the trap here is that if this pawn is taken, one white rook will slide across, and if the queen continues grabbing pawns, the other white rook might just slide across. And he is thinking about it though here, Nitish. He is tempted to play it. Let's check out what he's saying.
Can I, guys? Can I do that?
He's going to play
Bro,
it.
My heartbeat's racing if I can do that. You know what? Jai Mata Di, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We are going...
Wow, he goes for it, Simon. There are some tricks, and we might see it play out. Next move, he wants to bring his knight forward and counterattack against the white queen using some sneaky pins. The tension with the black rook and the undefended queen in the center.
Very sharp. And look, Magnus seems a bit annoyed with himself there because he missed this knight c5 you pointed out.
Yeah, let's see if Magnus is reacting at all.
Who didn't understand, this is the idea. Knight c5, like his queen otherwise is trapped. But chess teaches us that there are very often resources available.
Okay, Magnus there, talking without moving his mouth even. Very impressive. But, okay, he was talking about the Black Knight coming forward. Now, that's maybe a bit less effective. Although it still happens. The White Bishop was headed round maybe to trap the Black Queen in some positions. Now, Magnus's Queen is hit. What to do? Where to run?
Yeah, it looks like Magnus should win an exchange here, but Black's going to pick up some pawns, so it's still quite messy. He just moves the Queen out of the way of the Rook and the Knight, and there's that big threat of taking the Rook, and I guess Rook B1 is going to be annoying. Rook A4 at some point, not straight away. So there's a number of things hanging for Black here.
Yeah, too many pieces attacked. Nitish seemed quite excited about his chances. He's 2 pawns up against the world number 1. But now having to retreat, that Queen feels very trapped.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Rook B1, but do you want to take the Rook first? I mean, there's a number of tempting moves here, because if you go Rook B1, Black's going to get a couple of pieces for the Queen. So it's kind of just working out what material you want to win in this position. And Magnus has plenty of time to calculate this. What would you do, David? Would you take the Rook or would you attack the Queen?
I would take something. I would probably play that move that Magnus just played, and the eval bar slides back to the center. Magnus seemingly not on form today.
Not that he's threatening.
Yeah,
just threatening my... Yeah, that's not good. Just completely forgot that he's... Or missed.
Oh, Magnus is missing stuff.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, often it takes the players a bit of time to warm up, get into the competition, but he's one of the most critical people of his own play, Magnus, and you see this even when he wins tournaments. He can get quite upset because he didn't play as well as he knows he's capable of playing. And I think this mindset is a very, very good mindset for being becoming a better player. But even though you got that extra Queen, Black's, I think, quite solid here, and you have to win this game.
Yep, still a lot of work to be done, and the material count currently is a Queen for a Rook, Bishop, and 2 pawns, if I'm counting correctly. So actually, Black is surprisingly material up. There was a big threat in that position. Oh, big blunder there from Nitish. I think he forgot about this move. Rook takes Bishop, eliminating a defender of the Rook. The Knight is hit as well behind. Magnus now has a winning advantage.
Yeah, that was a crafty little tactic there, and I think Black had to move the Rook back in that position to stay in the game, because now, look at those pieces. The White Queen can just munch them. Munchy, the Rook first, and even the Knight given a chance. So this is bad news for Black.
Yep, he'll emerge with the Queen for Rook advantage there. Black will have a couple of pawns, but Nitish is struggling to survive this one. The Knight moves. Very minimum, you can take that Knight with your Rook. There we go. Magnus does play that move, and we'll see the Queen versus Rook dynamic. It's like a game of just mopping up here. Just have to collect all the pawns, and Magnus gets the win.
Yeah. So interesting game though. There's some tactical moments there that both players had to navigate, and that's often what these blitz games come down to. 2 more strong players here, David.
Yeah, some very strong players. I'm not going to try to pronounce it in the French way, but Droin here.
The sounded quite French.
Yeah. I am against Artemiev, who is one of the strongest grandmasters in this field, but often in time trouble these days. And okay, position does look nice for White. I'm doing a quick material count temporarily, at least a pawn to the good, and 40 seconds up on the clock. That can be even more important. What do you make of Artemiev's fight back chances here?
Well, he's moving very slowly here, and as you mentioned, he's got half the time of Droin. And that was a pure guess. And the position, as you say, it looks very nice and White. White's picking up the pawns. Black's Bishop on the right hand side's not doing anything, and you can swap pieces off. So this is looking like a possible upset here.
Yeah, very, very good chances here for a win for the player with the white pieces. The likes of Sam Sevian and Hans Niemann have moved on to 2 out of 2. Just a quick update that Danny Rensch unfortunately lost quite a quick game there, but he was playing a super strong grandmaster. Danny was playing Dmitry Andreikin, winner of last week's Title Tuesday.
Well, he's had a bit of a tough couple of games there, hasn't he?
We threw him in at the deep end.
Yeah, definitely. And now, look at the time. This is where you've really got to speed up, and this is where I often struggle. I'm just incapable of moving quickly. And Black's moving the Knight around. Is that Knight going to cause some problems? Well, it wants to jump into the position, but I still think white must be doing well here.
White has an extra pawn, and it's a very strong one potentially. Any endgames look promising for white due to the past a pawn. He just needs to survive, and there we go. He gets the queens off. I must say that's a very natural move. Getting the queens off when you're material ahead tends to be good wisdom, but there must be a flaw to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what it was, and you've got to move quicker now. It doesn't matter what you're doing, and here you go. The f-pawn moves. Black's picking up the pace. This is so important. If you get rid of that dangerous pawn, the white king could also be a little bit loose in these positions. I think it will come down to the clock, though.
Definitely. Artemiev tends to be a bit slower at the beginning of games, but he's also one of the best bullet players out there. He was a silver medalist at the World Rapid Championship recently. And here we go, pawns coming off the board. Oh, knights are jumping. It's a bit scary for white. Struggling to keep control here, drawing. Oh, I fear there's going to be a knight fork in the air.
Yeah, that knight is causing a lot of mischief there. And the back rank now is also a little bit weak. And okay, there could well be a rook check coming in at some moment here. And there it is, the rook coming in.
Okay, we see at the top of our screen some upsets. In the meantime, Troin has lost control. Oh, it's all about that first rank. Back rank, it's over.
Yeah, there's no way to defend that bishop now. And that's the end. So a great fight back there from Black.
Yeah, great fight back. And that's where class really is permanent. Artemiev, super tricky, super speedy, winning from a difficult position. And I wonder if we've got any final games remaining. It looks like, Simon, most of them are over. Arjun Erigaisi surely about to pick up a win, but some upsets. Denis Lazovic losing on the second board. And yeah, it's felt like an odd start to the tournament. Magnus on the ropes in both of his games. But yeah, we'll see if he can be taken down at some point, whether anyone will take the chance against him.
Yeah, some shaky play from Magnus, but he is on 2 points, and he's probably only going to get better and better. And it seems like most of the top seeds have moved through without too much damage being done to them. Duda, who's been performing very well recently, up there as well on 2. And then you've got all those Americans in 4th, 5th, and 6th place. And Danny might get an easier game in the next one. So I think he deserves a more lower-rated player. Yeah, definitely. That looks like Korchnoi against Prenish, but it's not quite Korchnoi, is it? It's an interesting name there.
Oh, well, where's that one? Oh, Korchinski.
Yeah. Glad you said that, because my pronunciation is pretty terrible. And big game here.
We stick with the top seed, the world number 1, Magnus Carlsen for now. He is up against a bit of a giant slayer, Rinat Zhumabayev. He was the long-time number 1 in Kazakhstan, very strong grandmaster. He specializes in taking down top players. Like he can also maybe suffer from a bit of inconsistency himself, but just in Title Tuesday alone, he's beaten some real top seeds. So this is not going to be easy for Magnus. It's the Catalan opening, and Magnus putting his knight on c6, bishop on d6, everything we're taught not to do as kids, but this is a bit of a trendy variation these days.
Yeah, and you can see, well, both over 3,000 ratings, so anything possible. Black trying to break in the center there, but white keeping it under control, and this is a real challenge, this game, for both players.
Yeah, Magnus tends to not experiment too much with openings once he realizes he's up against someone super strong, someone he can respect. And, okay, interesting.
Is that why he played the Dutch against me?
That's a good opening, Simon. That's the best opening out there.
It is a great opening, I agree. But yes, he knows how strong his opponent is here, and pretty sensible position.
Yeah, he's been inspired by you. He's first playing the Dutch, now growing some interesting facial hair.
I like the way you said that. Interesting facial hair. David Howell quote of the year.
I'll save my thoughts for when I next see him in person. But,
I mean, who do you think his inspiration is for that moustache? I mean, have you ever tried? I reckon it would suit you, David. Why don't you grow a little, like, whatever kind of moustache that is?
I've tried. Mine tends to be a bit more wispy, and I totally know what Magnus is going through, though. Sometimes between chess tournaments, like, you're at home, you're in
midlife crisis.
Mode. I'm not saying that. Between tournaments, you sometimes don't... You know, you don't go out too much. Why shave? You know, it's the last thing on your priority list.
Yeah, I haven't done that for at least 20 years. And this position, I mean, it looks like white should be a little bit better because, okay, Magnus has to create counterplay, and he does this by pushing that pawn forwards. But that open file which white's put a rook on. It looks pretty juicy for white, that one.
It really does. I can imagine a rook landing at some point later on the 7th rank and causing some trouble. For now, everything's covered. No entry squares yet. But Zhumabаев is hinting now that he might even jump in with his knight, try to trap this bishop.
Yeah, and I don't think Magnus is happy with his position. Maybe he has to play f4, but then he's kind of committed to sort of going all in on the king side. But you know, sometimes you have to do this. I mean, if you're in trouble, and that knight jump you pointed out, so he has played it, looks very strong at some point. So I think, it's a kind of all-in position now for Magnus.
Ooh, Magnus is saying that too, I think.
And we've had some tech issues. Just normal stuff.
Oh. Okay, it looked like Magnus was saying, I'm going all in, but no, it was tech issues.
Tech issues.
life stuff.
Do you say tash issues or tech issues? I wasn't sure.
We'll ask him afterwards.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, that was the main reason for f4, as you said, Simon. Not just because you're a dangerous Dutch player, but just to get the bishop out from behind the pawn chain.
Yeah, and even though white may be better here, it's the kind of position you probably enjoy playing more with black, because your moves are quite natural. You just go towards white's king, you develop. The black knight might have a great square coming up in the center, and those pawns, they do look a little bit scary, right? Coming right down the board.
Yeah, this is where the trend starts to turn, and we've seen that in Zhumabаев's clock time. He was actually up against Magnus by a few seconds just a few moves ago. Suddenly Magnus looking much more confident, comfortable, and the eval bar agreeing that it's turned in black's favor. I'm not sure whether you can push any pawns yet. You might even be able to hit the white knight on the other side of the board. I'm not sure if white's knight is really going to go pawn hunting. How would you improve here? It looks like a great attacking foundation, Simon.
Yeah, I might even try pushing the H pawn, but I kind of do that a little bit too much. Just to try to soften up white's king a little bit more. Maybe move the queen out of the way of the rook is another idea. So bring it behind the bishop. Then that loses the pawn, unfortunately, here, so I can't do that. And my rook on the side of the board, I don't know, I'd like to bring that back maybe. But okay, he goes for your idea, this aggressive push to misplace white's knight. And white goes pawn up.
Okay, did Magnus miss that one?
He kind of missed that one.
But we are not the same. I maintain that. Even though I'm making a better and better case that we are with my moves.
Okay, Magnus talking about maybe some rivalries there. Not sure. It's interesting, Simon, because your instincts told you h5 or queen maybe over to g5. Attacking moves. Those were the top two according to the computer. Those two moves you mentioned. Magnus going a different way. There you go. Advantage gone.
Yeah. It's kind of all-in position I love playing, but I've never played this move. This is the kind of move I would just not be able to play. I'm attacking my opponent. What do? I exchange queens off. Why? Why is he doing that? What's going on?
Because his name's Magnus Carlsen, the greatest endgame player of all time.
Fair enough. And this is a good move from white because that black pawn was threatening to come forwards, but I still wouldn't exchange queens here because now the white king should be basically totally safe after the exchange of queens, and it wasn't before.
Yeah, Magnus is temporarily a pawn down as well. The idea was that the white knight was a bit offside, maybe the a2 pawn would have dropped, but everything's held together now by Zhumabаев. Computer still says slightly better for black, but I don't know, if he doesn't find anything in the next few moves, Magnus, now it's turning already. Better for white, pawn up, starting the kickback of the opponent's pieces.
Yeah, and there's that weak pawn in the middle of the board of blacks as well. White might be able to get his rooks maneuvering. The one thing in Magnus's favour is that space advantage on the king side, and white's king side is a little bit cramped. This is a very committal last move from white because it makes some big holes, but it's a forcing move. I guess white just wants to take that pawn in the middle of the board, so the knight comes in with a check.
Yeah, and wow, he dodges it, Zhumabаев. He didn't want to part with his great defender, the bishop, but now Magnus has a decision. Does he move his rook somewhere? Does he take this rook off the board?
I'd love to move the rook to the side and just push my g pawn is one idea, or maybe move my bishop to g4. Try to checkmate the white king, even though the queens are off the board. That looks tempting. And he's moved his rook over. Two ideas that Magnus has: use the pawn in front of his king to come down and increase the firepower against white's king, or maybe use the bishop to come in. And at some point, white might have to play bishop takes knight, but that looks pretty grim, right? So Magnus right back in it now.
Yeah, big attack. An attack without queens is something that Magnus really enjoys doing. Nice to see that our viewers at home, as we see at the top of our screen, enjoying Magnus's choices both on and off the board today. And in the meantime, yeah, I mean, I could also imagine the other black rook coming and joining the fray. He has taken the knight. That looks so scary. Magnus gets a check, wins back the pawn. It's level material, but the white king does not look long for this world.
Yeah, that's a really nice move. He wants to put the bishop into that square. And also, you can win a pawn in the center. Just rook takes pawn. The white pieces are not coordinating well. The white knight is now sidetracked on the side, and look how strong Magnus's bishop has become. So, really, really nice middle game play from the best player in the world. Unsurprisingly, really.
Yeah, it did look a bit shaky for a while, but getting the queens off the board, it just tends to be the point where he starts turning on the magic, Magnus, and. Oh, Harry, the H-pawn is coming.
Oh, yeah.
That white rook is almost trapped. Well, it would be trapped now if the pawn lands.
Yes, and the last move, very slow move from white. And Magnus just saying, I've got all the time in the world. He moves his king, and I would have to... Oh, crafty. Ooh. And a little bit of a celebration there, David, from Magnus.
Let's listen in. Okay, Magnus. We missed the celebration, but we saw it on the camera. He was about to deliver checkmate in the corner there. And let's check how Danny Rensch is doing. He's up against a candidate master. He went from being in trouble to suddenly winning in one move. He could have taken a pawn on d6, maybe. Were there other tactics in the... What do you make of this crazy middle game, Simon?
I don't know, I'm just looking at those jeans in the background. A complete mess. It could go either way, this one. This last move consolidates the knight there. The time situation, Danny a little bit slow. He's only got 15 seconds, so he needs to bang out his moves. I remember Danny being a very good bullet player, and he has to show that now. Still, anything possible here.
Yeah, desperate times on the clock, though, for Danny, who's put his king back on a very vulnerable square. Now a knight check. Oh, felt like there were some checkmates there. He's going to be able to survive. It's just about the clock. 7 seconds. No time, surely.
He's got to move quicker here. If he can just got to pre-move the position, there's not really any chance apart from that. And, it looks good for black. I think Danny's going down here.
Yeah, Danny's going down. There's a checkmate, and checkmate in this corner. Danny does fall. Let's listen in.
We're not going to do anything if we don't learn something today, because we're definitely not going to win this event. You're never too old to learn. All right, I've got to remind myself of the line here.
Okay, Danny's checking the opening. That's the first thing everyone does, right? After a game, they go into the game review and they see where they went wrong.
Is that right? Yeah, I need to do that more.
Most of us do that.
Yeah, I do a lot of mistakes. And so it's heating up now. 3 points. Some big names there, David.
Yeah, some big names, but also some big names falling. Min Lei is a very high-rated player. Did drop a draw there. Wesley So also dropping a draw. Sam Sevian losing. Magnus is up against Iranian Grandmaster Amin Tabatabai. And Vincent Keymer is up against Duda. Another big clash. Nepo, Arjun, still some other Grandmasters. Top GMs on a full score. And this round, we'll be following Vincent Keymer against Jan Krzysztof Duda. I would say two players who, in the winter split, have been bringing their A game, playing Title Tuesday week in, week out. Just last week, Vincent Keymer had a quickish draw in Tata Steel, just so he could play this event. Or at least that's what we'd like to think.
Yeah, it's a big event, this one. And two massive hitters here. Big names. And they start off pretty sensibly with some kind of Queen's Gambit, A6 variation, a popular line nowadays. Queen F3, a little bit rare, David?
Yeah, not the most common move here. Black is arguing essentially that rather than put the bishop on a passive square, now he can trade it off in just one move, but white is trying to take advantage of the fact that maybe a6 isn't always the most useful, doesn't support the center, for example. Now gets his queen out. The queen is not trapped. The bishop attacking it would have seen the white queen slide, so we see a trade, and Duda doesn't look too happy. But it does look like a very typical solid opening. This pawn structure arises in all sorts of variations, and player gets a bit more stable. It's all about maneuvering the next few moves.
Yeah, the white queen normally not out there, so it kind of depends whether that queen is going to be a good thing or a bad thing for white. And normally it's back home. You could potentially try to use the white queen to attack black's king side. And yeah, g4, g5 is very tempting. Is he going to play it? I hope he does. It's the kind of chess. Oh, okay, he's gone for the better pawn first. Oh.
Go on, Harry. If I were playing you, I would just know. I wouldn't even need to look at the board. One of these pawns is flying forward, and it would be scary for black.
It is scary, yeah. I mean, the light square bishop of white's is very strong, pointing towards black's king. And with the g pawn coming, maybe you could think about bringing your rook around as well, but I think g4, g5 is very tempting here.
Yeah, lots of attacking ideas for white. g4 seems to be a bit of a threat. That black knight is going to struggle to survive. Whoa. Knight on the edge of the board.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there bishop? No, it's not bishop takes pawn. I don't know. Bishop takes pawn is very interesting here, but you probably have something even stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of tempting moves. You want to take this pawn, and when the black king recaptures, give a check, maybe with the white queen.
Yeah, and try to then come in. But maybe just queen f3 here. It looks very strong. A simple move to go g4 next. I mean, I'm not sure if that black knight wants to be there. Is Duda singing? I don't know.
Let's check it out.
Yeah. What kind of music is this? Okay.
Groovy music.
It's interesting, right?
Wow, interesting music, interesting moves on the board. Vincent Keymer has sacrificed a bishop. Not the typical Greek gift we're used to. Not supported by a knight coming in with a check. But it's the queen who's going to be doing some of the damage.
Yeah. And you got this h5 move maybe a bit later on. So it looks like, yeah, this is a very aggressive move from Vincent. Again, showing that he likes playing this kind of chess as he did in Awaken Z when he went for his crazy attacking chess in a lot of rounds. If you don't take that one, you have to move the king, but I can't see how that's going to help you with the white queen just attacking black's knight. So it kind of feels like you have to take the bishop here, really.
Yeah, at some point, I think against an elite grandmaster like Keymer, you just have to say, okay, prove it.
Yeah.
Like, why suffer a pawn down for nothing? He does take the bishop, but this is what we were talking about, the double check. Simon, your instincts are on point. This is a brilliant move. The eval bar says white is much, much better now, despite being a piece down.
Yeah, I mean, if the black king comes forwards, then this g4 move is going to be very tempting, trying to go for a pawn checkmate. And the only other idea that you have, I would see, is to block the check with the pawn here and try to keep your extra piece. Because, again, if you give the piece back, and he has played it, you're in a lot of trouble. Now, I was wondering what would happen after knight g7, but this move looks fairly sensible as well. White has a lot of pawns here, David.
White has a lot of pawns. You could grab another one now. I think or you could play this move. The two candidate moves are to continue grabbing things or attacking things. And now the knight is hit on the side of the board. As you said earlier, Simon, if the knight moves, I think it is the march of Harry the h-pawn that's going to open up lines. We've seen a lot of these h-file attacks, Magnus giving h-file checkmate in the previous game. Lots of pawn storms. This looks devastating. How is black going to survive? A minute plus down as well.
Yeah, it's really, really bad for Duda here because, yeah, if the knight moves, the h-pawn goes, and if white can get the rook into the game, then it's going to be game over. The black king's just too exposed, and already white has a number of pawns, so h5 surely now is the move. Just push that pawn, and I guess he's going to try g5 and then move the knight, something like that. But I mean, it still looks very strong to me. You've also got knight f4 here. You've got so many tempting moves, David.
Yeah, normally that's maybe the one thing that might hold him back, Vincent Keymer. Sometimes having too many tempting moves means you burn time on the clock, but he has a 1 minute time advantage. And yeah, it just looks so devastatingly good. I mean, this knight move would be hard to resist.
Yeah, get another piece into the game. I mean, if the Harry pawn move works, then you play it, but it might give black a chance to close the king side down. So getting the knight in, very, very natural move. I mean, even moving the g pawn here has some point. So you stop the position from being closed down. There's a very nice line. Rook f8, h5 nearly works. It doesn't.
Oh.
Nearly.
Queen sack. Push those pawns.
That's very kind you say sacrifice there, David. It was more of a queen blunder. But, you know, it's this is the thing. Vincent having a big think here. because he can smell the victory is very near. But he has spent now about a minute at least on this move.
Yeah, long think here for Vincent Keymer. And
Dude, having a good laugh there.
Exactly.
So he's enjoying him. He's enjoying this position. I wouldn't be enjoying this position if I was black.
Yeah, let's check in on the music state in Duda's room.
Pretty atrocious.
Okay, a very popular song there from Duda. Yeah, maybe just in trouble. I don't know whether he realizes how big the trouble is here, Duda, but he must be at least consoled by the fact that Vincent Keymer took a long time. And whoa, that's a strange pawn to take, not creating a threat. That is a very vague move. It's, of course, a nice pawn to grab, but the other knight forward looks so strong. Pawn moves look so tempting. And apparently this is a mistake now from Vincent Keymer.
Yeah, it's quite a... Oh, this is a nice move. Ooh. And Duda takes his chance. What a move that is. And the point is, the bishop, as you point out, David.
Yeah, double attack there, hitting the queen, hitting the knight, and suddenly white's attack loses a lot of firepower, a lot of steam, and it's suddenly black who's creating the threats, gaining tempi, gaining those very important moves to consolidate the position. Black's pieces, the queen side was all asleep. Now the queen's out, bishop's out, rook's coming. White's king might be under fire soon, and the black knight miraculously holds everything together.
Yeah, it's really turned around this for Duda, and Vincent also shorter time. I mean, that bishop, the light square bishop, the extra bishop that Duda has is really holding a number of squares together. And as you mentioned, the white king, you have to defend the rook. So he's moved the knight to defend the rook. But now black has a number of tempting moves. Maybe just bring the other rook over. Black's going to have some fun here.
Yeah, black's going to have a lot of fun. I have a feeling that Vincent Keymer might actually have to castle on the king side very soon. So he's getting ready. He's putting his knight there as a defender. But we've seen how that can be a dangerous decision, especially with the pawns moving forward in front of the king like that. So, okay, the rook does slide. And wow, the advantage changes hands after the most natural move on the board. Maybe it was time to actually just capture a pawn. And Vincent Keymer's going for checkmate. They're both going for each other now.
Yeah, that pawn getting nearer and nearer. If it can go one more square, then the black knight will actually be trapped. But can the queen come down with a check here? Can the bishop then come in? It's really tense. And look at the time situation. They are both under a minute.
Yeah, it's a race now against time, against themselves. H5, apparently not the best move, but Duda burning so much time moving his rook. And that was because the knight wanted to run away if it had been hit. Vincent Keymer castles. At least his king is safe for now. Material count. White has 3 extra pawns. Black has an extra bishop. It's actually level. Who would you rather be?
Well, at the moment, Vincent, because Duda's only got 20 seconds. There's no increment, and I think it's going to come down to the clock here. I mean, I like Black's position with the rook coming in, and it's, though, on that clock, Duda, brilliant bullet player.
Oh, he's kicked away the white queen, though. She's been forced away, forced back, and he's threatening some nasty checkmates. Rook takes knight would end the game. Vincent tries to postpone that as long as possible. The sacrifice does come. Not correct from Duda. He's just got no time, as you said. And now the queen defends everything. Watch out, some queen checks, and don't take that rook. It was poisoned. And now it's just a pure time scramble. 8 seconds, though. Surely not enough. That red clock is going to be Duda's downfall.
Yeah, it's all down to the clock. 4 seconds left for Duda. And also a bit of a tricky position here. The black king has nowhere to hide. Look at that pin there. Vincent using his time, and there you go.
There you go. Duda runs out of time just when he had a big advantage at the end. Vincent Keymer shakes his head. Pure relief from him, but a very, very important win as they head into the first break. Ooh. Yeah, small margins at this top level.
Very small margins, and yeah, they have a break after 4 rounds, and then again after another 4. And if we look at the scores there, we can see that Magnus also only drew his game. Obviously, he's playing a very strong player. And at the top there, how's Arjun? My pick. He's on 4, David. He's up there.
Good call, Simon. Some of those top players rising up. MVL as well. But a name that I'm very excited about, Fustino Oro, who was here at the Take office just a few weeks ago. He's on 4 out of 4.
He's an incredibly strong player, Fustino. And I saw that. It was really good. It was great, him and Magnus chatting together, you know. So that was lovely to see. and he's going to be, I don't know, he's going to be a real, even a bigger star in future years. A lot of good players at the top.
Yeah, a lot of good players. Fustino also doing very well in the Task to Steel Masters just last week, impressing. It's been a busy time, but the teenagers these days, they do not rest. He's not even a teenager, that's crazy. They're so young.
Very young. So, yeah, so interesting start, David, to the tournament.
Very interesting. And in the meantime, we want to take you back a little bit in time to show you one of the highlights so far from the first 4 rounds. And Simon, this was round 1. Magnus was on the brink of defeat. He lost round 1 last week. Here, his opponent fought so hard, but the clock was the key clincher yet again. Magnus getting a bit lucky, maybe, as he was still warming up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you make your own luck. And you can see here, White suddenly has the attack here with the rook coming in. And the rook, now the black king coming up. And yeah.
Yeah, Magnus here. Last week, he got checkmated with his king on h6, soon to be h5, and lightning could have struck twice. A check here from the white queen would have also been very strong. The queen came forward. Magnus now with a very dramatic mistake, dropping his queen back. If white had found the move, pawn to h4, pushing Harry the h-pawn, it would have been game over, almost on the spot. But we see the clock go red there. Olhovic, 8 seconds. And in this position, once the black queen moved, queen takes knight for white would have won the game. Queen takes f6 would have ended it here. Magnus would have been checkmated for the 2nd week in a row on h7. His opponent saw the right idea, wrong order, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's incredible that the same checkmate in the same round nearly happened twice to Magnus. That is unbelievable. But he did just about get through by the skin of his teeth there, and he's still in a good position to win this competition. But very exciting first round, that.
Yeah, thrilling stuff. And I think it's a sign that all players have styles, right? Magnus does take a few risks with his king from time to time, if anyone's watching. And if you ever play Magnus Carlsen, try and get his king on h6. You never know what might happen.
It's quite hard to get your opponent's king to h6, but I will remember that golden tip if I play Magnus again. Get his king to h6. If I get his king to h6, I'll be really happy.
And talking of golden tips, there's something that's been on our screens throughout this week in Title Tuesday and, of course, previous weeks. Some of you might have seen it. It is the QR code just below us. And that is because here at Take, we are launching a new app. And you can be one of the first to get on board. I'm now going to be sharing my screen. I'm hoping this is going to work. So let's jump in, Simon.
Make sure you got it on the right screen, David.
Let's do it. Here we can see, just on this side, the app. I'm following some of my friends. It's a very social app. If you want to share your favorite games, your best moves, if you want to share your rating progress with friends, if you want to follow the top players, follow your friends. This is the one for you. I am following Magnus. We can see at the top here some of my other friends. You can see when they were last online playing games, or you can tease them if they're playing a bit too often, as I am often guilty of. We can see my progress, Simon. I've gained a few rating points in the last 7 days. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you're a good player, Dave. And how would I sign up for then to get this? It looks really interesting.
Yeah, the QR code at the top of everyone's screen to get onto the wait list. It is possible now, but I just wanted to point out a couple of things because if we keep scrolling, here we go. Oh, first of all, you can follow anyone. Alex Benzea was a guest here at Tidal Tuesday last week. I'm going to click follow. I'll be checking out his games. Danny's waving to us from behind. I think he's glad of the break.
Yep.
You can review your mistakes. There's plenty you can do on this app. Here you can try to do better than you previously did in your Blitz games. But I just want to point out a good friend of ours here at Take, Eirik, who has played over 200 bullet games just yesterday. So you can follow anything, good or bad, on the app. And check this out, Simon. Even Magnus is taking the time to watch, to comment on his friends' games. So I think pretty cool, building a society, building a community within the chess world.
Yeah, it seems like a lovely idea. I mean, kind of having a social side to the chess so people can comment on other people's games, can get involved, see how they're getting on, say hello, look at that. And it's a very small community, so you may even get Magnus popping up and saying something about your own game if you sign up here. So well worth signing up and scanning that barcode there at the top.
Yeah, you can be one of the first now. Remember that. And yeah, as we head back to Tidal Tuesday, 4 14 players on 4 points. I do think that the magic number is 9.5. I think we've come to that conclusion. If you get 9.5, you tend to be either first or joint first, and it comes down to tie breaks. So there's a bit of wiggle room, even for the players who have dropped points in the first few rounds.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you do want a good start. I don't know about you, David. I mean, you've played many of these before, and you told me earlier you've won a couple of Title Tuesdays. Doesn't surprise me. You're a strong player. But
time ago.
Well, don't mention that. A couple of weeks at least. And the one thing I find is like I break it up into 3 parts. So you've got the first 4 rounds, which is the start, the next 4 rounds, and the end 4 rounds. And I find the middle is really like important, because if you do well in the middle, then you can sort of, it's only a couple of games at the end. So the next stage, I find personally the key part of this tournament, and this will really start to separate the players, I think, into who could win and who won't win.
Yeah, and we see that round 5 is starting that key middle part of the tournament. Okay, we have Pranav, World Junior Champion, against Keymer. Arjun against MVL, that's a big game. Magnus there, he's moving back up after dropping a draw. He's playing Yakubov. Dubov against Wesley, so that's a juicy one. But we do start with the 12-year-old phenomenon, Fustino Oro, against Vokidov, a member of Uzbekistan's Olympic gold medal winning team. This is going to be fun. What a professional setup for a 12-year-old.
I was going to say exactly the same. This guy's got it not just on the chessboard, but he's got his branding down to a key. Look at that. He's got his name behind him. Looks a bit soundproofed. He's got a funky microphone. He's got some class, this kid.
He's got the swag, the Messi of chess. That room is anything other than Messi. And he's, okay, in the meantime, playing the Karakan. Every streamer's favorite opening, it seems like. It was the advanced variation. We see a quick exchange of minor pieces, knight for bishop. And a variation I have played before myself as black. You tend to be very solid, but you have given away the bishop pair. So white's dark squared bishop, if it can ever get out to any decent squares, tends to cause some problems.
And this is a very sensible move. Maybe the bishop can now hide back, so white decides to grab that bishop before it gets a chance, and 2 bishops versus 2 knights. And it seems like all top players prefer the bishops, David. And I know you're a bit of a bishop lover. Am I allowed to say that?
I am indeed. Bishop lover by day, knight lover by night. No, but these blocked positions, I think, are the one exception. I would say for the knights, the block structure, the fact that the knights maybe can get active into the center quicker. Bishops tend to be happy from afar, those long range pieces, but this white bishop maybe not the happiest. Could get hit later. I'm imagining black even maybe castling. Potentially on the long side. I think black wants to go opposite no matter where white goes. And yeah, this could get spicy.
Could definitely get spicy, yeah. I mean, where are the kings going to go? That's kind of the big question here. I mean, I love the crazy chess, and I love your idea of castling queenside here, but it's a very committal move because your king is weak. And this is also very interesting, just trying to open up the position, even though you're opening up your opponent's bishops. Black wants to get that D file for his rook, maybe, and give his knights some extra squares. Exciting stuff.
Yeah. It is funny because, as you mentioned there, opening the position against bishops is counterintuitive, goes against conventional wisdom, but there is also a saying that against the bishop pair, you need to accelerate the play before your opponent's fully ready. Bishops gain in power the longer the game goes on. So you kind of need to strike before that. Fustino takes a pawn. I'm not sure how greedy he's going to get if white, for example, recaptures. But another move for white would be sliding, maybe.
At least he's singing along there. I want to know if his music choice is better than Duda's.
Let's check it out. Silence.
Maybe he's just singing in his head.
Yeah.
First sign of madness.
Well, genius.
Well, yeah, genius, I think, is much more likely. And he didn't like that move. Has he missed something? So you can see by looking at his face. I mean, it's a very natural-looking move, but there's something about that move he didn't like, David.
Yeah, I think he was debating getting greedy in that position. Black's knight, before it disappeared, could have grabbed a pawn, and I'm not sure there was any downside to it. That would also have allowed some g5 action. But okay, this little transition means at least the white bishop pair has gone. Black is still better, since white has so many weak pawns now. 3 pawns stick out, isolated, vulnerable. He does take one of them, Fustino. But watch out, there's some action on the pin, on the g-file, and his knight is hit.
Yeah, and if you move the knight, the bishop has a lovely square in the middle of the board, attacking the queen and attacking the rook. So I thought you could move the knight back here, but that would lead to losing material. So I'm not sure how you deal with this threat now. He's got to find a good move here.
Wow, maybe that's a good move. Giving up a pawn. There was a pin there, so the bishop was untouchable, but now his knight is on that square. You mentioned the beautiful g4 square. Can't really be kicked away either because the black queen is staring down at the white king. The rook is coming. Wow, Fustino with really classy play.
Classy player, really classy player already. Putting pressure on white's king, and he's only got one more piece to bring into the game, the rook in the corner of the board. And there is that big pressure against f2. Now the other rook, it looks very natural to bring that in, David. Do we expect that to happen?
Surely. It's the only piece that's still asleep, as you say. There we go. Teamwork. All 4 of black's pieces look active. The white pieces are stuck defending the f2 square. Oh, I would love to, for example, bring the other rook in and just... or maybe even some sacrifices there, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if they were working. Fustino gets ready to double up those rooks on the second rank.
All the black's pieces working so well here, and look at that. It's a big mistake.
It's a mistake, but why is that a blunder? Are there some back rank issues? No, it's the queen. If she moves, the bishop might just be snapped off the board as there's a pin on the diagonal. Fustino, he's doing it. He's done everything perfectly so far in this game.
He's played a great game, and now surely rook takes bishop, but there's a check on the back, so you have to be accurate here. Oh, that's a very crafty resource there, that check to pick up the rook. If you take the bishop, beautiful move there, moving the king, getting out of any trouble and threatening to take the bishop. Really nice move.
Oh, that is so classy. Fustino's calculated everything as well. It might look like the white queen is about to take this pawn with a check, come back with a check. Threatening this check here, but the black knight's just going to save everything, block everything, and this bishop is just dropping off in the process. How to even defend that piece?
I mean, 3,200 and you're still like literally 12?
12.
I mean, it's crazy. What's going on?
He's only
It's
just
madness.
turned 12 as well.
He's only just turned 12. It's absolutely bonkers. And he's playing such great chess. Yeah. Look at this. He changes plans now, David.
He changes plans. So the white queen was defending everything. He's going for a back rank checkmate. The black knight does cut any escape squares from the white king. Now it's such a kind of such a narrow thread that white is hanging on by. He's excited.
Yeah, I would be as well here.
You can sense it.
Maybe something like queen c3 looks tempting. There could be something stronger in this position. And he's doing the right thing. He's taking his time because he can smell there's a win. Look at that move. Oh, beautiful stuff. And he's look at that. He's singing along.
We can't hear from him. There's no music playing as far as we can tell in his room, but he is feeling the beat. His opponent's feeling the heat. And that is a bone-crunching tactic, cutting the coordination between the white queen and her rook. If the knight is taken, black's queen will take back, and at the very end, the white rook will fall. Wow, it's so good. Is he a future world champion, Simon?
I mean, there's a lot of future world champions nowadays, but if I was going to pick one, maybe a future singer, I don't know. Could be. And this is the only way that white can try to play on, but it's actually really funny watching. I mean, how annoying would it be losing to someone singing like that in real life? It'd be blooming annoying. And black here just has to queen that A pawn, I assume.
Mm-hmm. That pawn is going to sprint down the board. I don't think white can build a fortress. The hope for white is that eventually the white bishop will be able to help cover the promotion square, but no kind of anchored squares for that bishop. It's going to be vulnerable. It's going to be loose wherever it stands on that diagonal. Fustino knows that with a queen, you can play on 100 moves quite easily. It's quick for the mouse. It's just one piece. For white to defend the rook, to defend the bishop, to keep everything intact, it's going to be very time-consuming on the clock. He is crazy strong, as our chat says at the top of our screen there.
Crazy strong. Yeah. Crazy. I mean, do you think he'll be world champion, David?
I think so. I hope so, because I have a video of me taking him down in a blitz game that I can show to my grandkids when he's world champion.
You've taken down everyone in a blitz game, haven't you, at some point?
Not always on camera.
Not always on camera, no. It was quite funny. Whenever we play, you have a massive score against me, but whenever a crowd turns up or anyone starts recording, I get my 1 in 100th win against you, which is a little bit unfair, the way you crush me always.
The camera, it helps or it hinders, that's for sure. And okay, look at this. The bishop is so loose right now. I think the winning plan for black is going to be, as he's showing us here, to bring the king forward.
Yeah, bring the king in. You might need a second piece, but the white pieces are very loose as well. I mean, maybe you could just attack the rook at the right time. The rook would have to go, maybe queen d3, something like that. There's many tempting ideas here to win. And, you have this big time advantage to boot.
Yeah, Fustino, some of the faces he pulls as well, like you can tell when he's not impressed by his opponent's play. There we go. Nice prediction, Simon. He hit the rook, which had to keep defending its bishop. Now only one piece guards this pawn, and it's 2 squares away now from promotion. The bishop's going to have to give itself up. Nothing else to do. But the rook cannot hold its pawns, and Fustino moves to 5 out of 5. What a win. That was very one-sided against a super strong grandmaster.
He made that look easy. I mean, he played a brilliant game. He kept control. He was never in danger. And he did some rather unconventional things using those knights. So showing real talent. And this is another massive game. Arjun with the pawn advantage. My tip to win it this week. But can MVL survive here?
Oh, this one is tricky. Knight endgames are so difficult. But he's now made 2 connected pass pawns. Apparently the winner's gone, though. The White King will be forced to step back and defend, and this might be what he missed. The Black Knight is going to give itself up.
But also the time, David. I think this is just going to go down to the clock. This is where you kind of have to move speedy, 15 seconds each. Okay, the White King trying to get rid of those pawns to at least not lose this one. And I think he will do this in time. Probably a draw. Probably.
It is a draw. As soon as that white pawn is removed, the game will automatically be declared drawn. And there we go. Arjun doesn't even try to save the pawn. It is a very fair result, I would say, although Arjun was probably the one who was pushing towards the end.
Yeah. Fair result between 2 of the world's best players there. And we don't have many people on maximum score now. And Fustino is one of them.
Wow, just 3 players on 100%. They could be joined by Bluebaum, Makarian, Vakidov or Esipenko, but it is Makarian who wins against Bluebaum. That was just decided on the clock. And Vakidov against Esipenko. Simon, it is rare to see so few players on 100% at this point.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of draws going on. On that score group of 4.5, there's some massive, massive names. Magnus just biting at the heels of the top players. But it's going to be interesting. Okay, who do you think is going to win it now, David?
Fustino.
Is it going to be his week, do you reckon?
I was so excited. I thought he might be playing Magnus, but he dodges Magnus. I think just by 1 or 2 seeds there. They're on the board next to each other. Instead, he's playing another member of the Uzbek Olympic gold medal.
He's doing a Kasparov, going through the team, taking them all down. Might as well do a simul against them. And here we have, okay, could it be a King's Indian defense again?
Could be. It could be a Grunfeld defense. Let's see what Vakidov is up for. Fustino, he's a very mature player. Like, of course, we've seen how cool he is with the tactics, but he can play very positional chess as well. He plays e4, d4. He plays all openings, which I didn't learn until I was in my mid-20s, I must admit. But it is kind of a Grunfeld here with a Fianchetto for both sides. And the center is about to disappear. It's about to be liquidated, and symmetry looks guaranteed.
Yep, that looks pretty symmetrical to me. And Vakidov, I played him before. He lived in England for a little bit. Strong player. Proved a lot all of a sudden. And I know he takes his chess very serious, and a great player. And it looks fairly even at the moment, apart from this last move now, with maybe the Black Knight on the left-hand side being a little bit offside on b4, and White's bishop's a little bit more funky. But it's just the only difference is the knights here, David. Yeah. Only difference.
It's literally just these knights, as you point out. If you shuffle them, put them anywhere else, total symmetry. And yeah, there's the question about whether the knight can ever come in before maybe leaping back, or whether the black bishop's coming in. White starts first. White has the extra tempo. So you would think in symmetrical positions that maybe it's a small advantage here, but if you can't find a useful move, that could very much change hands. Vakidov has done a good job of staying up on the clock, and okay, a risky strategic move there from Fustino. He's kicking away the black bishop, but he's also blocked in his own bishop behind his own pawn. So black happily steps back, and he's got to watch out for the black knight coming in now. Yeah, this is very tense. These positions tend to go either way. Like, very rarely are they ever boring, despite the symmetry. And the knight jumps in.
It's a big move, that one, because you offered a pawn on b2, which black grabs, fearlessly grabs. But the white piece is looking quite scary.
Yeah, really scary. And like you said, this knight is almost trapped. Like, you could even nudge it now. It might have to retreat back to the edge of the board. There are ideas such as knight jumps already.
Knight c5, yeah. This is a big move, isn't it? I feel like that. And also you're threatening to win the knight now on b4. White's piece is looking so much better. Grabbing that pawn has allowed White's rook into the game. Could Fustino be going onto maximum score? Whenever he gets a good position, he starts going into dance mode. Do. Raving away there with maximum points. And he's got a great position here.
Wow, it's a golden opportunity to get to 6 out of 6. I want to see him busting up the robot or something when he wins proper celebration.
Can you do the robot, Dave?
Can't.
You can't, no?
No, I tried to do the worm when I was young, but...
the worm, I've seen that in a club a couple of times. Maybe we should have a little... Maybe we can get the crowd to see if we can get you doing a robot on air, like when we get a chance for next break.
If Fustino gets 11 out of 11, we'll join the celebrations. That would be historic. But, okay, it's going to be difficult. Long way ahead. He's still got 1 month, I believe, just over 1 month to become the world's youngest ever Grandmaster. He needs a norm from an open tournament. But the way he's playing, Simon, it feels like a matter of time.
Yeah, he's clearly Grandmaster strength already. I'd be terrified playing him if I had the chance. And it was a bit unfortunate because at Tata Steel, I can see he did get a norm, effectively, but it was a closed tournament, so it doesn't actually count towards his Grandmaster title. And what do you mean by a closed tournament? Like an all-play-all, so all the players have to play each other. If it was an open tournament where you don't know who you're playing, he would have already have got the title, but he's clearly Grandmaster strength.
Mm-hmm. The way he's playing, he's making very strong Grandmasters struggle, sweat. There was a stronger move in that position. I'm really surprised he didn't take this pawn, because due to some fork ideas, I think the black queen would have had to step forward, the white knight could have come back, and we could have repeated the position. He's shaking his head now, Fustino. He knows he could have played the same idea, just in a different order. Knight takes pawn first, and then this queen move would have been super strong.
Very nice tactic there. And I guess here, black could take the knight, maybe, as an option, trying to get the knight back. I mean, there might be something stronger, but very complex. Pieces hanging everywhere. And now still looking... Well, black's back in the game now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just taking his eye off the ball for half a move there, Fustino. I think he was a bit flustered because he spent a long time in the early stages. This pawn is still up for grabs, but now the black queen has some nicer squares to jump to. And black is still 2 pawns up, despite how weird this knight does look on a2. It's coming back. It's coming back with full force.
Yeah, he's got to be quite careful now. And Vakidov's done a great job of getting through those complications and just keeping the game alive. His position was bad, but he's complicated things in his favor. Only 1 pawn now. The knight goes in, but yeah, that A pawn's a big pawn. The pass pawn that black has could be very dangerous.
Yeah, it's always dangerous, an A pawn combined with a fianchettoed bishop that supports the promotion square. So if the tactics don't work out for Fustino now in the next few moves, he will be in big trouble. I think his idea, though, is to blow open the center, which makes sense, especially with a lurking fianchettoed bishop. So Vakidov is trying to decide where best to place his queen.
Yeah.
I still have a feeling this is a 50-50, despite the computer slightly preferring black.
Look at that. Fustino he saw straight away. I love that facial. He knows immediately when a mistake is done. Oh,
is it this move?
Oh, he's getting excited.
Wow.
He's getting very excited there.
We're trying to listen in. He's not saying anything. He's just muttering to himself. Tactics. Okay, he takes a pawn. Now?
Surely queen takes knight now. Looks very strong. And grab it. He's played it.
There we go. He's in calculation mode. That is the face of someone who knows he's on the brink of victory. I think Vakidov, this was just a blind spot and not an obvious one. Fustino is about to emerge with an extra exchange at the least.
I love the way he tries to psych himself up. It's really, look at it. Like, come on. You can do it, son. It's like, yeah, he's his own major supporter. I mean, you still got to win this position. You're just an exchange up for nothing, but with pawns all on one side of the board, it's not completely simple, is it?
No. And he's trying now to get the queens off the board because he knows opposite color bishops will possibly help white here. It'll make it hard for black to defend the light squares. The f7 pawn is a target. The rook will come. The bishop will come. Okay, Vakidov is desperately trying to harass the white bishop. But the rooks are coming in. The knight isn't doing too much in the center here.
Big threat here. Bishop takes pawns. So the rook has to go back.
Now.
That F7 point, that's the key point here. If white can get the other rook lining up against F7, it should be it. And the rook is coming in onto the light square. Here it comes. Only way to defend F7, but now black is completely tied down.
Yeah, you have to be careful about how you play it here with white, but you can bring your king forward, start advancing these pawns. Surely black's not going to be able to defend here. If the g-pawn advances, maybe after a trade, black's going to try and block the dark squares. Can he find a way now, Fustino, to finesse it? He's got 1 minute left.
Yeah, they're both getting short of time here, and he's just waiting at the moment. You would have thought moving the g-pawn is the way to go at some point, but that g5 response looks good. You still got to win this one, and he has gone for it. Black's got to go g5 here, surely.
Yeah.
And he has.
Just unthinkable, allowing white to step forward, hitting some pieces. If the black knight is ever kicked away, the f7 pawn drops. He hits the black bishop. Their tactics here feels so close. And, ooh, that's a nice move. If the black pawn had taken, the new pawn would have arrived on g5. He's so close now, Simon, surely.
He's very close, and the black knight is really bad here at the moment as well. There's still that weakness, and that is another big weakness. He's an exchange and a pawn up. He's just got to use that g-pawn now.
Oh, he was a bit nervous there. He could have actually taken the black knight off and won another pawn. He would have had rook and 2 pawns versus just a bishop. That would have been game over, but this is, of course, totally winning.
Yeah.
Vakidov trying to set up a blockade on the dark squares, 35 seconds. More than enough, surely.
Yeah, it's not much time, though. And, you know, if you're going to spend... He's spending 2-3 seconds a move. I don't think that's going to be enough. He's going to have to hurry up. But the g-pawn now getting nearer and nearer. And surely something like rook b5, very close, just winning outright. And he has played it.
Mm-hmm. He's advancing with his king. He can push that king even further forward. He's breaking the blockade. Just have to make sure that the 2 pieces can't give themselves up for the white pawn and the white rook. Push the pawn. Push the pawn.
Push the pawn look good, David, yeah. And he might well do that now. And he has. And that could be it. 18 seconds. Knight's a little bit tricky, but he's a whole rook up now.
Oh, I love what he's doing. Keeping his king and rook as far away as possible from each other. No forks now.
Yeah.
The white knight, the white bishop, sorry, is going to get back into the game and beat that black knight away.
I love this technique. He's trying to separate the king and the knight. And this is a key idea. And look, he's gone, he's celebrated there, and he's won another game. It could be his week.
Wow, 12-year-old down, 100%. And Magnus, in the meantime, winning position. But does he have enough time? 8 seconds. He can fork. He can win that white rook. The king's going to stop the pawn. Magnus, how quick is he? 4 seconds. New queen's on the board. 2 seconds.
Oh.
He's totally winning. He needs to get rid of the last white pawn, just in case. Magnus can't lose now. Can he checkmate with 1 second left? Oh, Magnus is so slow. He's too slow here.
Oh, dear. Can't believe that. Stalemate. Was it? Did he lose on time?
What have I done?
He ran out of time.
Okay.
What have I done?
Magnus asking what has he done. He was just too slow, Simon. I'm used to seeing him a bit quicker than that.
Yeah. I've seen him play much quicker than that. Surprisingly, he lost on time there, and that could be a big half point, right? He needed that win really to stay at the top. Okay, he's still got a chance, but he's a point behind the leaders. Look at that pairing we're going to get now. Wow, this is going to be great.
Juicy game here. It's 12-year-old Fustino Oro against Pranav, the world junior champion. That is under 20. So we have one of the best under 20 players in the world against the best 12-year-old in history. This is going to be fun. Fustino gets the white pieces again. That's an opportunity. Whoever wins this is going to really fancy their chances the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be on the lead on your own if you can win this one. And Pranav playing a solid opening choice here with black, kind of like Nimzo kind of structure, where you're just keeping it all tight in the middle of the board. But white has that space advantage. The pawns further advanced, meaning you can maneuver more easily behind them. This is black's standard idea. Put the pawns on dark squares. Considered a little bit better, this kind of structure for white, but black is very, very solid.
Yeah, black is solid. And here, the computer likes black's chances because maybe just time-wise, white is a bit slow to castle. Now the black knight is coming in. Some threats. Maybe some ideas of a very quick pawn break as well.
Yeah, that's right. That knight has a beautiful square, and I really like that last move that black's played. And now the knight does come in, And you've got that f-pawn push you mentioned, David, to open things up. And Fustino, can he do it?
Oh. I mean, at this point, I don't think we should ever bet against him. He's just so strong and so convincing.
Yeah.
His technique was perfect in that previous game, especially with no time on the clock. But he is facing some threats now. Watch out. Knight takes pawn ideas, knight check ideas. This formation of the white pawn knight, it's a bit flimsy. Bishop is coming too.
Yeah, I like the way Black's played this so far. Black's played it creating chances, and he hasn't spent much time. Now, knight takes pawn is very interesting here, with the idea of going bishop check afterwards, as you point out, David. I mean, but I can't. Maybe you can just get away with doing a Magnus and putting your king on the side of the board there. I don't know.
Take everything, just march up the board.
Yeah, he's obviously thinking about it now. So knight takes pawn followed by bishop check is what Black is considering, but maybe he just doesn't have enough pieces to make it work.
That means he takes a timeout. Pranav plays on the other side of the board. He wants to get his knight out, the other knight onto a decent square. But Faustino is really calling the bluff here. He's saying, okay, like, do you actually want to take this pawn? If not, then...
I just take it. I won't even calculate. It looks like fun. Give it a go.
If this was bullet chess, you'd get away with it.
I've never played bullet chess in my life. I'm the old man of the chess world. Can't move that quick. Standard idea here, just trying to advance on the queen side with b4, getting the space over there. And surely Black's got to try to do something on the king side now.
Yeah, I have kind of mixed feelings about Pranav putting his queen on this square. She does look nice and pretty. There are some tactics, as we pointed out, but if they don't work, then maybe he would have rather set up a very quick f5, maybe g6, f5 type ideas a bit earlier. Feels like he's lost a bit of time. Faustino, at the right moment, might even just move his knight out of the way and kick away the black pieces from his side of the board.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe knight g1 was his idea with king h1. Could be a solid square to start advancing on both sides. And White's position is looking better now that he's consolidated a bit. This is a logical move, but is it a mistake? What's happening here? There was something happened. Something was happening there. Yeah. I don't know what, but something. So
I have a feeling it was something along the lines of what we were talking about, but
yeah.
I don't know. If the players don't have time to calculate, it means we don't have time.
No,
so luckily,
not.
We can say that there was a small mistake there by Faustino, but nothing terminal.
It'd be interesting to have a new chess variant where you have the evaluation bar next to you, so you can sort of see as you make a move how much it changes, or your opponent makes a mistake, you know there's a blunder. And Black now setting up that pawn break of using the f-pawn. Can White's king sort of just hold things together? You've got knight coming back, okay, swapping off some pieces. If Black doesn't create some kind of chances on the king side, White's better here. Look at Black's knight on a6 on the left-hand side. It's out of the game there, all the way out of the game. Can't get back in, and White's got the space advantage. So it's very tense here. Black's got to create some chances somehow, though.
Yeah, and Pranav is normally very good at that. He's burning a bit of time on the clock here. He's 30 seconds down, but he is great at conjuring up attacks out of nowhere, conjuring up tricks. He was known for a long time as a player who maybe wouldn't try to outplay his opponents strategically. He'd just wait for tactics to appear. But these days, more all-rounded. He drops his queen back, so he's repeating the position. If Faustino wants to ask the question and say, Pranav, do you want to draw? He would have brought his bishop forward. He trades knights first.
Yeah.
And now the question is, to push or not to push?
Yeah, he's trying to push without allowing many exchanges on that square, I feel. Slightly prefer White still here, unless Black can get some break-in. So what else can Black do, though? Can Black... Okay, he's rerouting that knight. That knight did look like a very bad piece, and he's, trying to get it over to the king side. Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
But look at that, a shake of the head there from Pranav. And he's played it. He's played f5. He has to really do this move.
Better late than never. The White King's now surely going to step forward and defend everything. But the Black Knight is coming. White could also put a knight in the center. That tends to be a beautiful outpost, but that will just be traded off.
Yeah, still any result is possible. They're down to 2 minutes. The knight comes in. Black doesn't want to trade the knights off quite yet, so giving White a bit more time to consolidate. The king guards some squares, and he's shaking his head there, but I don't see why that's a mistake. Looks like a good move. And look at the rook, the white rook. can even start jumping into the position and trying to gobble up some pawns on the left-hand side of the board. So looks better for white now. Black, where's black's counterplay?
Yeah, I don't see it. Like, Pranav might have to go into kind of reverse gear here and start trying to make a draw. Wow, pawn to b5. Fustino was just as surprised as I was. I mean, you can take it, but you can also step forward.
Stepping forwards looks so natural. Those pawns, has that helped black? And now black going for the exchange of knights here. But white has this advantage, this space advantage on the left-hand side. Maybe bring the rook in, maybe push the pawn forwards, something logical like this. Everything defended on the king's side.
Yeah, Fustino does bring his rook in, attacking a loose pawn. Very odd decision from Pranav. He's got barely any time as well. 1 minute 15 now for him. How to attack the white king? I think it's just impossible. Maybe some miraculous queen exchange. He goes in with his queen. Maybe he's going to try and sacrifice something, give a perpetual later on, but I don't really see it working yet. Rook takes pawn. Maybe he wants to meet with some attacks against the center. Okay, Fustino's a pawn up.
And this is his idea, I think, just to keep the pressure on the rook and on that weak white pawn in the middle. And quite a clever idea from black there, I think, to get some chances. If the rook comes in with a check, then you've still got to deal with your pawn in the middle of the board. So he needs to be very careful. Look at the time as well, David. This is all going to come down to the blitz finish. They're getting down to under 1 minute. He gives his pawn advantage back there. And does that mean he's lost all his edge?
It does look like it's now level, but whose position is easier to play? That's the question. Faustino's arguably got the weakest pawn of them all now, the only isolated pawn in the position. Maybe it's become easier for Pranav. Faustino retreats, shaking his head.
Yeah.
He's a bit frustrated here. He's going to put his rook on a passive square. It's going to be very hard to break down white's position, but it's turned. Pranav, it's the best position he's had in ages.
Yeah, definitely. He's got no worries at all here. He can try maybe using his H-pawn to create some problems, just push the pawn, and he's just waiting. There's not really any weaknesses. It should be a draw, but obviously it's blitz chess. So 3 results, always possible.
And these players won't know it yet, but Magnus Carlsen has just lost, so the field has really opened up. There was a checkmate threat, blocked. Will we see anybody on 100% after round 7? This game does look drawish, and it could see the 2 leaders drop their first half points of the day. The queen retreats, hitting the pawn we talked about. That would fall with the check.
Yeah, keep an eye on the clock, though, because every second advantage is going to count massively. And, okay, you've got a chance to go into a king and pawn ending here, which is quite tempting. Maybe even with a check, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be good or not. Should be a draw, though. The black queen can now come in with a number of checks. It starts with this check.
I think a draw would be a relief for both sides at this point. The clock will make it really random if either side decides to play on. And Fustino, does he go for it now? Does he get the queens off?
I mean, why not? Why not play it? I mean, king and pawn endings are very, very dangerous for both sides. You haven't got time to calculate this. Under 20 seconds, he's gone for it. Is this a way to try and win? The white king is a bit more active here. It can come up the board. So black giving his king some space to get in. Should still be a draw, but very, very tense. 10 seconds.
Oh, Fustino needs to hurry up. He needs to get everything off the board here and now before it's too late. Does he push f4? No, he retreats. It's still a draw, but only Pranav can win on board and clock. The black king's coming. 6 seconds. He's going to be a pawn up. This is going to be a ruthless flag from Pranav. Oh. Fustino blunders. He pre-moved there. Now he's getting oppositioned. Black king is going to usher the pawn forward. That was such a sneaky trick from Pranav. Fustino heartbroken as he resigns. Wow.
Great game from Pranav, I have to say. I mean, heartbreaking for Fustino, but Pranav, what a great game that was. I mean, he had a bit of a dodgy position, but he played some beautiful ideas just to keep the tension there, David.
Mm-hmm. Yep, great win for Pranav. He's the sole leader, 7 out of 7. Heartbreak, of course, for Fustino, who held his own for so long. That could easily have gone the other way. But the clock, we talked about it, deciding everything. Pranav was quick when it mattered. And we see the scores there, Simon. Only 1 player on 7, only 3 on 6.5, and a whole bunch beneath that. Magnus, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, you don't often see that. And Danny Rensch, can't see his name up there at the moment either. Somewhere up there, I guess. And a big game, Pranav, with the white pieces of Kane and Bortnik. And Bortnik plays his standard Alekine's defense here. Massive game. Bortnik is only half a point behind.
Yeah, this is huge.
Yep, so there's a normal idea. He's fianchettoing his bishop. White generally has a bit of a small advantage here, but Bortnik is an expert in this variation. He plays this, what's considered a bit of a dubious line very, very often. Just having that little bit of lack of space is Black's problem, but Black doesn't have too many weaknesses here. And is that pawn in the center? Is it strong for White or is it weak? This is another big question. Well, at the moment, you've got to work out how to defend that pawn here, and the knight moving there allows the pin to happen, and the pin comes in.
Yeah, how else was the question? The White Queen wanted to step forward, but that would have been a nice hit from the Black Knight. This is what he's tried, Pranav, but he's advancing a lot of pawns now and maybe overextended. The Black Rook is coming to the center, and the Black Knight at the right moment might come back around for this pawn. I quite like Black's chances, to be honest, especially now, threatening this pawn. How to save it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Black's got any trouble whatsoever here, and that pawn is certainly looking more like a weakness than a strength now. As you say, David, he's just threatening to take the knight and take the pawn, go pawn up. So the openings work very, very well, and you can see that Pranav is trying to think if there's any way he can save that pawn. You don't want to go a pawn down without any compensation, and this is looking pretty bad for White.
Yeah, it's tricky because Pranav, that was such a breathless end to his previous game. He had no time to recover, straight back in, and he's up against it already in the opening. He's about to be down a pawn. I don't know whether Bortnik is going to try taking that pawn now with one of these two pieces. But either way, Pranav, yeah, it feels like a bit of a hangover from the previous game. He just needs to settle himself now. And, okay, maybe the wrong way to recapture.
Shakes his head immediately after that move. I mean, you're walking into a big pin, and this is a very uncomfortable... well, Pranav was shaking his head there, but actually, it's gone a little bit wrong for Bortnik because you don't want to play this move f6. It's a bit ugly.
Yeah, I don't really understand why he didn't take with the bishop. Like, he could have the same position, but with the bishops off the board, and I think that would be a good exchange for Black, unless there were any immediate tactics against the king. But, okay, he's got his rook into the center. He's still a pawn up, Bortnik, so at least something to suffer for. I can just tell, Simon, you want to kind of maybe move this bishop back and then start shoveling Harry up the board.
How could you tell, David? How could you tell I wanted to shove the h-pawn up the board? I mean, it's a natural idea. This is also a safe way to play. I thought Black might try to exchange the queens there, but this is trying to embarrass Black's bishop on g7, and you still have this idea of pushing the h-pawn up the board. The evaluation bar very, very much now, though, in Black's favor, and it's probably because of the Black rooks diving into the position.
Yeah, I think it was a tempo thing. If White got one more move there just to secure the second rank, White would have been doing great, but the Black rooks are in, and big question now about whether to take this pawn and say, okay, you can have my rooks, but I'll have your queen. A big, big moment. I'm really shocked that Pranav allowed this. He had a bishop covering this square. He didn't need to rush to take the knight. He could have prevented the Black rook jumping like that, but okay, he did rush a bit. Bortnik doing really well on the clock and on the board now.
Yeah, this last move is trying to centralize the queen into d4, which would be a very powerful square. The weak point is right near White's king, where both Black rooks are looking, and this is a crafty tactic. Does that work? Trying to eliminate some of the pressure there. Does that work, David?
Well, that is crazy. Pranav reacts, and apparently it did work, the bluff. He wanted to give a check with his queen, pick up the rook if it had been captured, but Black actually could have almost won on the spot if I cancel those arrows by taking this pawn a few moments ago. And White would have had to give up the queen for two rooks, would have been suffering. Pranav dodging it there. Bit lucky.
Yeah, and suddenly White now has managed to centralize all his pieces. The Black bishop is bad. Yes, Black is a pawn up, but it's a really irrelevant pawn. No White weaknesses. Still game on for both sides.
Yeah, still game on. I think at the right moment, Black is going to try and strike on this side of the board. First, he's just trying to cement control, making sure that his bishop might peek out later, come round and behind if the rooks disappear. Yeah, the time advantage. I just have a feeling, especially after that scramble we saw between Pranav and Fustino, that the clock is going to play a huge role in these next few rounds. This is a key one, Simon. You mentioned the middle, kind of the meat of the tournament, the middle part. Yeah, if one of the sides wins here, they might fancy themselves in the last sprint of the last few rounds.
That's right. And this is the second part, as you say, David. After this, there's only 3 games to go. There's a little break So it's not really a game you want to lose because you've got a bit more time to think about it. A win here is massive, absolutely massive for either side. I'm not sure which side I prefer. Maybe even black now, because the white pawns on the left-hand side are looking all fragile at this moment in time, and the blockade has been broken a little bit in the middle of the board. But I'm more concerned about those pawns, David.
Yeah, those pawns. One rook can come behind, the other rook can come around the side. This does look very, very scary now for Pranav. He's got to hold everything together with minimal time left and a pawn down. He's trying to create counterplay, but that will only help the black bishop to open up on the diagonal if it steps back. I don't really know what he gained there. The black bishop now looks like it's fantastic and can actually contribute on this diagonal if I can draw arrows a bit later. First, the rook comes in. He's just trying to simplify everything, and he's got this pawn in his sights.
Yeah. And the black rook's very active, but it's those pawns, the white pawns on the left-hand side, which is a real problem for Pranav. Can Pranav somehow guard those pawns? Well, also the clock. You've got 1 minute, 12 seconds. You've got half the time. He's trying to defend those pawns, but look at that bishop. That's beautiful, that bishop in the middle.
Yeah, we've seen this a few times. Opposite color bishops means that one of the side's pawns end up being vulnerable, and you can hold the light squares, but you're not holding the dark squares here for Pranav. This is going to be a painful defeat if he can't hold this one, because it feels like he never really got in the game after what looked like a decent opening, especially after his opponent had played that move f6. But now, okay, it's all hands on deck defensive job here. Bishop is pinned, rook is tied down. I think Bortny just wants to move his king in and win this white rook, which is trapped.
Wow, that's a very nice idea. White's pieces are horrendous, aren't they here? They just can't coordinate. Black's pieces very nicely placed. The time situation, it looks to me like Bortnik's going to be going into the lead with only 3 rounds to go. And White's decided to try and sacrifice some pawns to activate, but there's some serious pawns he's losing here.
Yeah, it's looking terrible. 1 pawn down in a opposite color bishop position. Maybe you can survive, but 2 pawns is just too much. And okay, what is the trick? If a bishop takes this pawn, I don't really see what the trouble is here.
I guess he's also thinking about bishop e1, just trying to work out which move is better here, David. Bishop e1 might do something. He's moved his king just to get out of the check there, so the bishop had to come in anyway. And now look at that. He's threatening checkmate there. What a crafty idea that was.
That is
really, really. And he's won.
That is so sneaky, so brutal there. Bortnik, bang on fire. And Pranav really didn't get a chance. As soon as the queens came off, it seemed to be game over. We jump into another closing stage of a game. Rasulov looks scary there. And scarily good, his position against Fustino. There we go. A result because White's pawns were just running through. 2 pawns up is too much. Fustino, unfortunately, running out of steam in his bid for tournament victory. Rasulov, a very experienced grandmaster. Here we see Daniel Dubov against Hans Niemann. The last time these two met was famously for that lie detector kind of mini match of Blitz. Dubov in trouble on the board and on the clock. 4 seconds just not enough, Simon.
It's not enough at all, no. I mean, he's creating some chances here. Oh, checkmate.
Whoop.
Checkmate on the board. Or queen g1. What's he doing? Is he trolling? Is he just saying? I thought he might wait a minute there before he plays it.
Yeah, he found checkmate in 1. I saw checkmate in 3. I forgot about the checkmate in 1 there.
They both work.
They both work, and Dubov falls to Niemann. A bit of a rivalry, a bit of history between these two.
Yeah, what was the story there? You have to remind me. I mean, it was like they did a lie. Did he do the lie detector test in the end?
He did, Hans Niemann. They played 2 matches, I believe.
Yeah.
And Hans Niemann lost the second match, had to do a lie detector. He arranged it himself, though. It was in private, closed doors. I think there was a camera on only 1 question, and it was quickly brushed under the carpet. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Dubov had some interesting thoughts on that. In the meantime, Zhumabayev is about to go down on the clock, as well as the board, against candidate Matthias Bluebaum.
Yeah, these queens are quite nice, aren't they, David? I always like having the extra queen as well. And there you go, Bluebaum, and does a good victory there. Well, we only have 3 rounds to go with 2 leaders at the top.
Yeah, MVL winning very convincingly with black against Shimanov. and he will be facing Alexander Bortnik next up. But yeah, still a chasing pack. We see Hans Niemann moving on up. I think anyone on 6.5 is probably going to have to win the rest of their games. Anyone on 7 has a bit of leeway, but those on 7.5 definitely the favourites. Maybe winner takes all in the next match, but nice to get a bit of a break now for the players.
Yeah, and how's Danny Rensch getting on? Do we know how many points he's on? Is he on 50%? That was what we're wondering. We thought, well, because Danny doesn't play very often, he's our streamer in the office here. 50% would be pretty good score because it's very tough this Title Tuesday. I mean, I try to play it every week and I struggle. It's not easy. These guys, they're good. I play so many CMs and they're like 3,000 strength. It's like, what? Why? Why are they 3,000? They're a CM. So it's so hard nowadays. So many good players.
It is extremely hard. I can confirm that Danny is just under 50% right now. He's on 3.5 out of 8. So I would say about par, according to expectations. But yeah, if he finishes strongly, could move on up. He said his target was 6 points, or at least above 50%. So if he does score a couple of wins in his last few rounds, he might get it. He's kind of on a bit of a yo-yo, Simon. Tends to be the way in these tournaments. You win one, you play someone up, you lose, then you play someone a bit lower. He's been yo-yoing, win-loss, win-loss.
Sure.
And back and forward. But okay, here's hoping that Danny can finish strongly. In the meantime, we have an action replay from the last few rounds. And here's Fustino winning a really dramatic game against Vakidov. And it was this moment, Simon, where we saw this huge, his huge reaction from the 12-year-old.
Yeah, he's very animated. He reminds me of like players like Kasparov, another very animated face when he was playing. Nepo, when he plays, you can tell his emotions straight away. You have these two schools of players, really. People who show all the emotions they're feeling, and other players who just don't show any emotion at all. And here, well, he grabs that piece there and he goes and exchange up.
Yeah, that was a great move, taking advantage of the pin along the B file. And the technique, the endgame technique he showed later in the game, Fustino, to just never give his opponent a second chance, to never really make it look like he was letting slip, was extremely impressive. Just the energy coursing through him, the positivity as well. Great just to watch, but also very instructive. A lot to learn from in the closing stages of that game, beating several Grandmasters in a row, but Fustino has just lost the last two. It's small margins, Simon. He's probably out of the running now, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, he had a good run there. He's going to win it one week, isn't he? I mean, he's bound to. He's got quite a lot of years in front of him, so he's got many chances. And Magnus also not on the leaderboard there. He hasn't had the best of weeks this week. So my pick before, Arjun, still has a chance. He's got to win his next 3 games. And obviously we've got this big game coming up with the 2 leaders. If one of those players wins, they're going to be outright first with only 2 games remaining. So it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be very exciting. And just as we prepare for round 9 and the final sprint of games, we're going to take you back into the Take app, where, of course, you can get on that wait list. There is a QR code. Go scan it. I'm just taking a peek here into my app. We can see that Magnus has been active. You can follow some of his games, for example, from Title Tuesdays. And anytime he's playing actively, Magnus, you can take a peek how he's doing. You can go in and you can kind of break down those games, see what's been going on. Feels like a tough day for Magnus so far. I just want to point out that you can also follow your friends and colleagues. I can see here that Lucas, very strong FIDE master who works here at Take in the office, he's been slacking off work, Simon. He's been playing really? 2 hours ago and he's asking, what on earth was that? And the CEO of Take is replying, it was the London system. It was the London system's fault.
Blooming London system. No one likes the London system. And yeah, it's a good app. And you just scan the barcode on the screen just above my head somewhere. Over there. Scan it. Scan my head. And you'll get on the waiting list for this very exciting app, which allows you to chat to your friends and basically spy on them. It seems you can spy on your friends and they're playing, so you know what they're up to. You know what your favourite players are up to, and you had a big session on this, didn't you? Didn't you play for a number of hours? And I heard you even got caught out, didn't you, David?
You got me, Simon. I was at home. I wasn't feeling very well. and I didn't come into work the next day, but I ended up playing for hours and hours. Not so much this week, but you can see what I've been doing there. I did get some achievements, though, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, which I was very proud of. And yeah, if we jump in, I managed to win. Well, in chess, we love meeting those achievements, right? It's all about the Caracan.
All about the Caracan. No London system yet. No, I bet you haven't played the Dutch. Let's scroll up. Where's the Dutch? Has David played the Dutch yet?
It's somewhere. There are more than these.
Oh, it's not even on there. That's how bad it is.
38 brilliant moves, though. I'll just mention that. But I'm going back to Tidal Tuesday now. 3 rounds remaining. Yeah. Let us know at home who you think is going to win the tournament in this final sprint. Yeah,
it's going to be very, very interesting. So interesting out there. Just remember to scan it somewhere. There it is. Look, I can actually point to the right bit now. Good stuff. And it's a great little office here. You were saying that people slack off playing chess, but I mean, this is a really cool little place here with a lot of people. Nearly everyone working here is a bit of a chess fan, so they're creating some cool things. And yeah, I'm kind of jealous that you got this job, David. It seems like a lot of fun.
I'm trying to persuade you to move to Norway, so come visit anytime. And we'll be hearing later from Danny Rensch, of course, of his experience here at the Take studio in Oslo. In the meantime, we'll be right back. But now, can Magnus keep advancing with his king? Can he take that pawn? Oh my God, Magnus is going to lose. Oh no! Queen takes knight was winning. Magnus got checkmated in that exact way last week, but not this time. 8 seconds. Danny, 2 seconds behind, but it's a dead drawn endgame. 1 second, the clock's so red now, and draw by repetition.
I just drew with 0.7 seconds against David Front. What is going on here?
Preferring black.
Look at that. Fustino he saw straight away. I love that facial. He knows immediately when a mistake is done.
Been a lot of drama so far, but here we jump into the top board where it's the 2 joint leaders, Alexander Bortnik and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Bortnik is putting his money where his mouth is by playing the Jabava London system, an opening close to his heart. He's just released a course on it, and he was working on that course with Daniel Naroditsky. So yeah, his favorite opening and something you've dabbled in yourself, Simon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I have done a course on this and I've looked at it. I don't play it as much nowadays, but it's a very nice way to play. It's quite a simple system from white, and you can see that Bortnik has pushed the H-pawn up the board. This is kind of a modern way of doing things. If you take the knight now, there's a check with a queen maybe, so it doesn't double the pawns necessarily, but it's this kingside advance, which is a way that white tries to get some edge, and quite like white's position here. 2 bishops, more space on that side of the board. And especially that light square bishop I like of white's. You could even throw it in now, but simply c3, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it just looks like a improved London system.
Yeah.
The point of this h-pawn push as well is quite nice. Like, maybe not easy right now, but if the white knight is able... Okay, there you go. He does jump in. If it's able to entrench itself on e5, black is reluctant to ever push the pawn to f6 to kick it away later, because there will be holes, outposts. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave doesn't really play these blocked kind of centers so often. He's more of a Grunfeld player. He likes a bit of fluidity. So I do think he'll be a bit uncomfortable here, but he's playing super fast. He's saying to Bortnik, you can bring your queen out, you can try and attack me, but I will find a way to defend.
Scary, though. Very, very scary for black. I mean, white's pieces are all positioned nicely on the king side, and you can start looking at sacrifices, bringing the queen in. I really like this idea, David, which you pointed out. The threat is bishop takes pawn, and now this is a very committal move. The queen can just shuffle back, maybe even jump in, and there's a lot of holes in black's position.
Yeah, it's just a horrible looking position for MVL. He doesn't kind of face too many knockout blows. Maybe he'll just move his king out the way. There we go. But yeah, it's just, if white had a knight, anything he could do for a knight now, just to put it on this square, it would be game over. We'd still take the bishops here, though. Bortnik has to decide in the meantime which side to castle. Probably he's going to go this way now after moving his rook. I do wonder whether the plan long-term is to move the queen out the way, even push the g-pawn. Do you think he's going to play this positionally, slowly? Or is he going to get aggressive now, Bortnik?
Well, I would have thought with that last rook coming in from white that he's going to play it a bit positional. I mean, it's a good position for white, but you need to break here. You can't win this position without doing a pawn break. And I really like the pawn break you mentioned. There's maybe another one you can prepare, the e4 break, like especially now that the position's been closed a little bit. But you'd need to break in order to win. And MVL trying to swap pieces off to make his position easier to play here. I mean, what you do here, David? Maybe f3, I don't know. Maybe rook e1. Options.
Options indeed. He keeps the tension, moves his queen forward. I quite liked your pawn breaks. There's also a question of whether you ever want to break this side of the board, although black will most likely, there we go, not capture on white's terms. The longer this goes on, and the longer it stays blocked, though, MVL might start fancying his chances. The black knight might start rerouting its way round towards a side that maybe matters a bit more, where he has more targets, more squares. If white does nothing, then maybe he'll just continue pushing on the queen side, create some open lines for the black pieces to come down. I do think Bortnick's clock situation isn't great right now. 2 minutes 20, 1 minute 20 down. And he does eventually go for this plan, which is maybe hard to achieve. And okay, his idea was actually to trade off and open up the E line for a backward pawn to be stared at. I don't like this though. Where's the white bishop ever going?
Yeah, I mean, but you got this lovely E file. I mean, I guess you can try moving the bishop to C2, later playing G4. I'm quite surprised MVL took on F4 personally. I thought that he would avoid doing that. But you like black here, David, right?
Yeah, I think it's just a time thing as well. Like white needs a few moves. White needs like one move to move the rook, then a few more to move the bishop round. And even then, it's not creating any threats. I do think black's play is quite quick here. Like the pawns are coming. The rook is coming.
Yeah, black's creating that counter chances quickly. So white trying to home in on that one weakness in the middle. But look, MVL has moved his rook straight in. And you're right about that bishop. Look at white's bishop. It's a really bad piece. Black's knight has some potential later on to maneuver itself around, but there's not really any chances for that bishop.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just one weakness for black. He can hold everything with his rook alone, while the other rook goes hunting on the other side of the board. Potentially this pawn is weak. He could go after the isolated A pawn. I just think MVL, when he's in the flow, like for me, it's all about the flow state with him. Sometimes he overthinks and then he loses his time advantage and things go wrong. But when he's in the flow, he's so difficult to stop. And it feels like he's just, I mean, he's barely moved since we've seen him. He's just feeling it right now. He's going to bring his knight round.
Yeah, that's very nice maneuvering. He spotted a weakness, that white pawn, and he's going for it. And this is the difference between the knight and the bishop. That knight can maneuver. You might have to come back to defend now for a little bit, but you have that potential in the long term to maneuver the knight, which gives you better chances. You also have the open file, and he's grabbed the pawn though.
Whoa.
Risky pawn to grab.
That is a scary one to grab because the white queen will now or soon get access round the back. The black king is in a mating net. It's in the kill box now, but he is a pawn up. And he's hitting another pawn, Maxim Vasiligraf. This is a big risk though. He's gambling that Bortnick doesn't have time to take advantage and, a passive move.
Yeah, it looked like bringing the queen all the way up might have been the way to do this. And the evaluation bar is now saying that black is winning, but I can't see the win myself. Where is it, David? You're the...
He's a pawn up. He doesn't need the win immediately. What's he going to do? I don't see it either.
I can't see it. MVL, is he feeling something here? I mean, is he just going to try to go for another pawn here? Big game. You win this. You're in the lead on your own. You're favourite to win the whole competition. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's bringing the knight around. Crafty.
Yeah, the knight's actually going to remove Harry the H pawn here, which is very important. It does trap the black king, that pawn, and the knight might just continue its journey. It won't stop there. It might continue jumping in. It does hold as well. Everything in the center. I agree. Bortnick, it's so uncharacteristic for him not to bring his queen in earlier. There were some ideas of going around the back and delivering a nasty checkmate, but now the white queen is super passive. And there we go. The pawn drops off.
Yeah, and MVL is the one who's going to be attacking soon. His knight, as you pointed out, has a great hole to dump into, and the rook can come down as well. It's looking very good for MVL. He must have won this before, MVL. He's a great player. But
yeah, he has a decent score, decent history in Title Tuesday, but it's been a while since we saw him consistently win them. And watch out, there's checkmate threats on the H-file. We've seen a few of those this week. What to do? White is powerless. The bishop, the queen, they're just so bad.
15 seconds, it's all over. Yeah, he just resigns. Oof. Great result for MVL. Big favourite to take the win this week.
Yeah, MVL on fire. We jump into a game where Bluebaum is in huge trouble. It's always the clock. The clock has been a hindrance for him. He's also down on material, a couple pawns down. And there we go, result. And it is European champion Alexander Indjic who gets the win. Okay, who else is still playing? Sidov here against Pranav. And, okay, this is huge for the standings. And Sidov, who defeated Magnus Carlsen earlier, I think he's a rook up here, Simon.
Yeah, it took me a while to sort of work out what's happening. And he is a rook up. Still a little bit tricky, I think, because, Black's got some pawns, but it should, of course, be a win for White here. If he can just contain that last pawn of Black's, and maybe he moves the rook back now to get rid of it, and he does. And when that pawn goes, everything goes. And I haven't heard of this player. It's the first, I mean, there's so many players now. And there you go, he wins it, which I've never heard of, David. This is the amazing thing with Title Tuesday. I mean, the Grandmaster here, Grandmaster there, and who the hell are they? They're really strong, incredibly strong.
Grandmaster galore. Sidov has been a blitz specialist for many years as well. Played Magnus at the World Blitz and Rapid Championships. But as you say, like the classical performances, decent, but the blitz is another level. And he took down Pranav. Pranav there actually banged his table. In the meantime, we have Alexei Sarana in a time scramble against Vugar Rasulov of Azerbaijan. Serbia against Azerbaijan here. It is Sarana with the extra material, extra time on the clock. This is huge for him. He'll stay in the chasing pack if he wins. Rasulov shaking his head.
Yeah, it seemed to me that Rasulov was one of those players who doesn't show much emotion when he plays. And this is a really nice move there. Nice try, but good defensive move from Sarana. And he has the extra exchange. The only try is against White's slightly weakened king here. But the king looks pretty safe now.
Yeah, Rasulov needs one last trick, but he's 2 seconds. Shouldn't be enough. Sarana keeping control on the clock and gets the win. Wow, Rasulov not able to create enough counterplay. That's big for Sarana, who might get his shot against Maxim Vasiligrov next. He's in the chasing pack of just 3 behind MVL. It's going to be a surprise winner either way. Magnus still hasn't reappeared on the top 20 list. Yeah, it looks like some of the top seeds really struggling. Arjun there, though, keeping his chances alive. Hans Niemann as well. And who do we get? Maxim Vasiligrov will play Sarana in the race for first place. Sarana really needs to do everyone a favor now and take down MVL.
Yeah, to open it up for all the other players. So my pick before, Arjun still has a chance, but he's got to win the next 2. And Sarana, is that maybe in pajamas today? Is he rocking it? Chilled out vibe going on there. Maybe a smoking gown. And we have an open Sicilian, which is going to be very exciting.
Let's go. It's Maxim Vasiligrov, the Najdorf specialist. He's been playing it since he was a kid, playing against his favorite opening now. Sarana, also a specialist in the Sicilian Najdorf. We see one of these funky variations that have become trendy recently with White retreating the knight. Not the most active way of playing the Sicilians, but very positional, based on the fact that Black still has a bit of a hole in the center, an outpost that a knight might want to get to. What do you make of this opening choice? Maybe not what we would expect from MVL.
No, I'm a bit surprised. I mean, as you mentioned, MVL is one of the most famous players to play in the Najdorf. And David, do you find it hard playing against openings you really like, or do you would have thought that you should be have quite a comfortable game if you play against an opening which you're an expert in, but that's not always the case, is it? Sometimes things go a bit weirdly wrong, for me at least.
Yeah, sometimes I think there's just this natural bias towards one side. For example, Maxim just might happen to like the Black side, and no matter how much he studied it, even if he knows all the most dangerous ideas for White, it's hard to switch. It's hard to switch allegiances. And I mean, a moment ago we saw that Black was slightly better. For Maxim to be worse after 13, 14 moves with White, when he should know everything, it is surprising.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. There's a difficulty there. I, for example, used to love playing the Grunfeld. Less nowadays, too much to learn. But I also loved playing against it back in the day. But that's maybe one of the few openings that I would mention. Here, the Queen trade, centers exploded. Simon, who do you think all of these exchanges will favor?
Seems very even at the moment, the position. I mean, Black doesn't have any problems at all, so both players just getting their pieces ready. We go into, getting near to an ending here. I think I prefer to be white slightly here with the potential to get in the outside pass pawn. You got a majority of queenside pawns, and you have this D file, looks a bit more pleasant for white. Then the white knight has chances to attack some of black's pawns. So maybe a very small edge for MVL, but there's no serious worries of black either here.
And he just solidifies everything. Serrano might bring his king closer towards the center a bit later. Maxi Vashlagraf trying to break it open. The knight jumping forward would have just been met by the rook sliding back. So everything fine for now. MVL looks much happier in his still picture
He does,
than on the video.
Stressful chess, isn't it? You know, so yeah. And the king now comes in and still very even. Did you have Sarawana over here once? Did you stream it? Yeah. So this is probably all on YouTube, right? If I want to see some of these top players streaming from here.
Exactly. Alexei Serrano, yeah, he came to Oslo. He had a great tournament when he was playing Title Tuesday. Didn't win it that week, but
He's won it before, though. I think he won the first one, right?
He did.
Of this new series. So, yeah.
He's won plenty of Title Tuesdays in his time. He's also won the European Championship, both individually, part of a team, European Rapid Championship. He's very much been an online specialist. I think became maybe known for his results in these types of events on chess.com before his over-the-board results caught up. But yeah, now just strong in all fields.
Yeah.
Big question, knight takes pawn would allow the white bishop forward. Some tactics there, but black would rather not take with the pawn, maybe just an isolated pawn in the center, a bit of a target. Serrano maybe underestimated the difficult decision here.
Yeah, I think this is going quite well for MVL now. MVL looks a lot more comfortable. Again, you've got to keep an eye on the clock. Now there's no increment, and MVL is over a minute up. And this is tricky. And this is a move, as you said, David, you don't want to play, because that pawn, isolated, weak, it's always a bit of a target. And you can see now it's going to get round. Well, white's going to try to round it up here.
And the king sitting behind it. Watch out, there might be some checks against that king. A lot of pressure on these central files. It's high responsibility, this type of position. Just got to make sure you don't blunder, but that will take time off your clock. MVL, he's applying the pressure so well on time. Both this game, the previous game, he wasn't focused on necessarily playing the best moves. It was just asking questions, playing quick. And here the question was, how are you going to answer some knight checks? Serrano says, by trying to repeat the position, but that knight is very strong. Watch out, rook checks as well. Oh, this is suddenly really uncomfortable for black.
Yeah, and you have to be very careful if you move the knight. There might be some tactics. Yes, looking good for MVL. You're right about that flow state. MVL playing quickly, and that's often a sign that you're in a good flow. When you're playing your moves, you know what to do. You don't have to double think, doubt yourself. I find this a lot. The quicker I play, actually, the better I play. And very tricky position for black to play. This is such an important game. It's a penultimate game. A win here would be massive. You only need to draw the next round to have a chance. And is this a big mistake? Let's see. There could be some tactics going on here. G7 at some point. Could be a pawn that's lost after some exchanges. Maybe. I don't know. It's that's one way you can pick up a pawn, probably.
Yeah, I like that, Simon. Keep it safe. Keep it simple. There we go. Maxime's doing everything you demanded there. And this pawn is hanging. Serrano even pausing before taking that bishop, which he had to do. Maybe he forgot that pawn was hanging at the end. He's not out of it. He will have a double attack maybe against some of the white pawns in the near future. But there we go. That's why MVL brings his knight back that way. Gain a bit of time with the check. And at some point he would love to just support his pawn. Or even better, blockade everything on the light squares.
Safe pawn up for MVL here. Black's chance would be to try to get his rook in now. He's got to try to do this. He's got to try to activate that black rook. Try to get it into the position. But okay, another idea, use the bishop. 1 minute, though, with a pawn down. MVL looking to be in great shape here.
Yeah, they say that 1 minute is normally worth a pawn. And here he is, 2 minutes down, pretty much.
In my case, it's worth a queen, I reckon. Like I can't play with under a minute. It's just impossible. I don't know how people do bullet chess. And big decision here. Okay, you take with a pawn, but that's another weakness now. White might try to reroute his knight to a better square, get it into the center, and he does. And 2 connected pass pawns, David.
Yeah, that is 2 pawns too many, most likely for Serrano, although I'm surprised the king went that way. Now he's going to be dropping this pawn, maybe some counterplay. Okay, the knight goes passive instead. Just to mention, we see it at the top of our screens, Hans Niemann blunders against Arjun. Simon's pick of Arjun Erigaisi, climbing up the scoreboard here, in the running for maybe first place, but if not, definitely the podium. In the meantime, MVL, he's gone passive with his king and knight. That's gone a bit wrong, maybe a bit too much in the flow state. Didn't pause when he needed to be accurate, and now difficult to march these pawns forward.
Black's pieces suddenly are great. I mean, look at Black's rook, really active. Look at Black's bishop, really active. And White's knight is a horrendous piece. It's gone far too passive. So I can see this one certainly heading towards a draw here, which would open up the field for all the other players still. Looks likely to be a draw, I guess, David, but the clock situation could change my mind.
Yeah, MVL, I've seen him before with huge time advantages. He's always reluctant to try and flag his opponents. But yeah, maybe that's the best course of action here to maintain his lead. Now, with the rooks off the board, it's going to be difficult to maintain the white pawns. There we go, one drops. If the other one drops, if Black can give up the bishop, then Serrano will save this game, and he will save it. Those pajamas giving him all the luck in the world here, as we'll see king versus king to end the game, and hard-fought draw. MVL lets him slip away.
Yeah, that was a well-saved game for Serrano there. He was in a lot of trouble, and MVL played fantastic for most of it, but you've got to save those half points.
And here we see board 2. It's Alexander Ingic against Sidov, two very strong grandmasters. Ingic is a Serbian teammate of Serrano, so Serbia doing very well. But yeah, he's fighting to save his life here. Should be a draw, I'm assuming. Now the knight is hit because the black pawn would have been stopped by the white knight. But will we see some flagging, Simon? What do you think? This could still go on a while.
Yeah, time's a massive thing. I mean, it obviously is a draw here. There's not enough material on the board. And are they going to repeat in this position? You've got to look at the clock situation. If you're black here, you're thinking, okay, I've got twice as much time. Well, yeah, flagging.
Yeah, I think flagging incoming. It's going to be a race for Ingic, who can't simplify the position. There's no way to give up the knight for the two black pawns anytime in the near future. I think he needs to go for the 50 move rule. 16 seconds. I don't know if it's going to be enough. He needs to just make quick decisions. Put his king back here somewhere and just move back and forward, for example. Stop moving away with your king. It's too difficult. You don't know where you'll step next.
13 seconds.
Oh, he's just too slow, I think, so far. He's made about 15, 20 moves since the last capture, since the last trade, but down to 9 seconds.
I mean, do you think this is fine? Like flagging your opponent in dead drawn position? It's just part of the game, right, David?
It is. I always hate myself a bit when I do it, but it has to be done. It's the format. It's the rules. Sidov is not going to feel guilty about this. And,
And look at that. 50 moves must have been reached. He's not going to accept a draw there. It must have been the 50 move rule because with 6 seconds left, you would never take a draw.
He actually blundered into a threefold repetition.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is even worse. They were still miles away from 50 moves, so he probably would have won on time, Sidov, if he'd avoided that repetition. It was a repetition over a huge space of time, but that is, again, tricky small margins. And look at that pack on 8.5.
Yeah.
That would have been huge. Sidov, if he'd won, he would have joined the lead. And okay, he still gets a chance at MVL, who is in the driver's seat heading into the last round. Your pick, Simon. Arjun, still in it.
He still has a chance. Arjun is just half a point off. So that pack on 8.5, you're right about 9.5 being the winning number, most likely. If MVL wins, though, he wins it outright, guaranteed. And he goes most likely for his Nyadorf here. So this could be fireworks on the board.
It could be. It's likely to be Sidov in a must-win situation. He's going to play something aggressive here. This knight back to b3 line. I never really understood. The knight was never hit, so why retreat it? But it was coined by a very strong Polish grandmaster. And MVL, he's playing... Is this the Dragodorf?
It is, indeed.
Hybrid.
I played this myself as black. It's a mix between the dragon and the Nyadorf, and you get a very flexible sort of position here where you don't necessarily castle. You can even bring the rook up and you try to get chances on the queen side. Very interesting stuff. This is a very, very sharp position, David. You know, this is not going to be queens off, go to a draw early on. This is all going to be about who can attack their opponent's position the quickest. White's main break is to push in the center in this kind of structure, but can black do something on the queen side in the meantime?
Yeah, this is an interesting standoff. Maxim Vachiligov doesn't want to castle because he's expanded so far forward with his h-pawn. He's going to say, okay, I'm just defending my bishop. Now my knight can potentially move if it needs to. White has stopped everything against his king by parking his knights in front. It feels like they're just building up for some kind of attack. Where is it? Does White push any point? Maybe that's just a bit too weakening now. The knight is jumping. I always find these fascinating. I never know who is going to seize the initiative until suddenly there's a big attack, and
oh, look at that. The bar does not like it. And this is a very logical move. In the Sicilian, when you're playing with black, that's the ideal square for your knight. And MVL's got his knight in. You can also think about playing e5, pushing the pawn sometimes in this kind of position, and then d5. But this move also, this is totally normal. Trying to bring it around. Maybe even rook c5 is a weird idea. Maybe not for a blitz game, I don't know. But you're trying to get as black all your pieces in. White hasn't really improved his position, but it seems like black, MVL has improved his position a lot.
Yeah, Sidov losing the thread. Like, retreating is very rarely a good idea in these open Sicilians, and it wasn't positional enough that he had the time and luxury to do that. This is a nice move. He's threatening a5 since the rook was defending the pawn there on b5, and that white queen looks almost trapped.
And look at that rook now, David. That rook is so strong. It comes all the way across. And this e5 move is another break here with maybe d5 coming up next. This is a lot of pressure for... Could MVL be winning this week's Title Tuesday? If he wins this game, he wins it outright. Counter-strike, though, a4.
a4, not just hitting the rook, which was important, but the white queen was about to be trapped. Now she has an escape square. Not just an escape square, but with a check. So MVL will block that check. Now, is the pawn up for grabs? There is a pin on this diagonal. Is Sidov back in this, or is this all well calculated? He pushes a pawn instead.
Well, he looked a bit annoyed there, MVL, for allowing this to occur. I think he thought his position was better than it is now. And this is just very complex. I mean, the evaluation bar massively in his favor, but it's such a sharp position, David, this.
Yeah, they're both playing so quickly. MVL happily dropped a pawn due to that pin here, and he's got to find compensation now. It's no longer one-sided. To my eyes, it looked like everything had gone right for black. Perfect Sicilian, but still plenty to play for.
Yeah, and now White has that extra pawn. If anything, I kind of liking White's position somewhat. This move, bishop to h6, doesn't really help. But okay, what's the move here? Look at that bar. There's got to be something big here.
It must be something to do with this pin. Unless it's the black queen diving in. No, it's knight to e5, overwhelming this knight, cannot move. And, okay, the pawn is also coming. Pass pawn.
Could this be it? Could this be MVL taking down this week's Title Tuesday?
I think there's some beautiful moves that Sidov might have missed as well. Queen sacrifice, if the knight retreats, defending his rook, maybe the black pawn just takes it. The white rook takes the queen, then the pawn takes the bishop. Will we see this?
Pawn takes knight. Could it be done?
It's coming.
He's played it.
He's going to make a new queen unstoppable on this square.
Oh, and look at that. He realizes now, Sidov, that he has lost this one at MVL. Are we going to see some celebrations? He's winning Title Tuesday.
Wow, Sidov is so angry with himself. He could have been on level footing with MVL if he just flagged his opponent in the previous game. Now, with or without a rook trade, it's impossible to stop this pawn promoting.
Look at that. He's got it. He's got it.
MVL is our winner of Game Week 10 of the Winter Split here at Title Tuesday with a beautiful queen sacrifice to finish off. That was crazy, Simon. That is a fitting way to win any tournament.
Well, I love the way that he played that game, David, because you're half point ahead. What do a lot of players do when they're half point ahead? They play it safe. What did MVL do? He played one of the most dangerous openings that you can play, and he just went for it, and it paid off. Fortune favoured the brave.
Oh, and talking of the brave, we have two extremely ambitious players here in front of us. Fustino Oro is the exchange up against Hans Niemann, but the white king is somewhat vulnerable. The black knight is poised, ready to jump in if it's given a chance. Not possible yet. Simon, who would you pick? Would you take the material or the control that Hans Niemann has right now?
I think I'd pick black. I mean, the knight and queen work very well together. And I'm still a bit worried about the white rook ever being able to get in the game. But now maybe the knight can come back into the middle. Knight f6, something like this. But then, I don't know, it's really, really tense. Then rook c2. David, who would you pick here?
Oof, I'm normally very materialistic in life and in chess. But I don't know. It does feel like the type of position where the queen and knight can team up really well together. Like you said, if it wasn't for the open c-file, I would definitely pick black. But,
it's tough, isn't it? It's probably just very balanced, but not a draw by any means. And this idea that you just pointed out of that rook swinging in is very scary. Hans has got to find a way to stop that. I mean, I'd love to get my knight back in the game, and he's gone passive now. And you don't really want to play a move like that unless you have to. And now he's trying. He's trying g5, but whose king is weaker?
Look at Faustino's expression as well. He's shocked by this last move. He knows that Hans is trying to get the knight into this square. He knows that black's trying to get the queen active. But does he have something better here? Does he just have to take this pawn? Most likely he does. Allow a check. I think the white king should be able to dodge some checks, but not easy. Oh, this one is still 3-result game, and Faustino might have a better position according to the evaluation, but he's much lower on time. And okay, the queen doesn't even take the pawn with the check.
No. This is a nice move. This is a good square for the king. And Fustino is down on time, but now his rook can come in. Instead, he just goes for the safer option. This allows the check. The white rook, if it can get and across, surely it's game over. This could be a great win for Fustino.
Yeah, he's getting closer. Fustino has a fantastic position, still material up. Rook for knight. Black only has one pawn in return. But this is a great defensive move from Hans Niemann. He's going to block any checks with his knight. And now he's going to argue that, he's allowing the queens off.
Well, I mean, with the queens off, I mean, do you swap queens? There's other options here, but he throws a check in first, just seeing if he can find a better way of doing it. But with the queens off, only white can win. The rook is much stronger than the knight.
And he goes for the win, Faustino. He's talking to himself, trying to motivate himself here. He's getting in with his rook, but that is a very scary pawn.
Yeah.
Can he stop the pawn?
Oh, look, he's celebrating. He's celebrating already. He's worked this out in advance.
We hear him celebrating. He wins, Faustino. He was about to give up his rook for the knight and push his pawn to victory. He takes down Hans Niemann. Wow.
Big win. What's he saying?
Very measured celebrations there.
Yeah.
To himself, Faustino. But what a result.
Yep. What a result. Sorry, I'm just transfixed by his celebrations. And it's really good to see that drama being shown. And that emotion as well. I mean, it's a massive win. Hans is a brilliant player, and taking him down like that, well done.
Yeah, well done, Faustino. Nice to see the images of the celebrations. That exhale of breath showing the relief, but also just the passion he has for the game. Fantastic calculation as well. He was one move away from being in big trouble, but here he realized he could just give up the rook for the knight, and the black king is outside the box. The pawn would have run through. We have most of our results in now, Simon. MVL is the winner. Arjun, such a good pick. He came second on the podium.
He was close, yeah. He was only half point behind. You didn't pick it. Did you pick MVL? No, I don't.
I mentioned that I thought he was due a good tournament.
Right.
And speaking of MVL, Simon, we're very lucky to be joined by the winner of this week's Title Tuesday, Maxime Vacher-Legrave. Maxime, congratulations.
Yes, I thank you, David. I don't take offense because I think it's my first win of the year, so there's no. I was not a clear pick, let's say.
But Maxime, once you got into the lead, we were following most of your games through the back half of the tournament, and it looked convincing. You were always up on the clock. It felt like you were in the flow. Did it always feel like it was going to be your week?
I mean, sort of. I would say, like, when I get through, I mean, I naturally play fast, this much, and when I get in the flow, I also don't make too many calculation mistakes. I had a few, of course, and I had one big scare with Keymer, I think I just played the wrong move in the opening, and then it was big trouble. But I ended up actually winning that game, and then it. I wouldn't say it was a cruise. Like all games were big fights. I had a bit of a scary moment in the last round because I had such a dominant position and I blundered some resource, and then it was all the work had to be done again.
Mm-hmm. But you mentioned that last round, Maxime. How satisfying was it to finish on that beautiful queen sacrifice at the end?
Yeah, it was good. I noticed it as soon as I played 95. So, I mean, of course, I was just hoping that it would actually happen. At the same time, there was no move for him. So I just assumed. Also maybe bishop. No, yeah. I think there was no move for him. So I was like, yeah. And anyway, I got this under the belt.
And Maxime, how much emphasis are you going to be putting on Tidal Tuesday and the whole kind of race for the Esports World Cup this year?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm playing for my team, for Vitality. So I probably wear the jersey now. So, of course, I'm playing for it. I think I'm doing pretty well in Winter Split now. It was tough, but I had two good results back-to-back. Even two very good results. So now I think I'm almost guaranteed to make top 8, which means qualification for Global Chess Championship, where everything will be at stake to get to the actual Esports World Cup.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Team Vitality, the shirt bringing you luck this time. Just before we let you go, Maxime, where else can your fans catch you in action next, other than these online tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the year is always much more chill. But starting from April, I'll first be playing in Karlsruhe, the freestyle open. So, I mean, it's my club and, it's freestyle. So it's a lot of fun to play those. It's a bit exhausting, but as it will be my first real tournament of the year, I think I can manage. And then there's Grand Chess 2, which I'm happy to play for the 11th year in a row.
Wow, that is quite the dedication, quite the loyalty, Maxime. That just leaves us to say many congratulations this week. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, David.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Simon.
Bye.
And yeah, we just had Maxime in great spirits there, Simon. And we're about to be joined by another guest who I'm hoping is in good spirits after ending the tournament on a victory. It is Danny Rensch. We'll be getting Danny seated. What do you make of MVL's performance there?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, MVL's was a favourite player of mine. Lovely guy. And he plays exciting chess as well. I mean, he plays sharp openings. He goes for tactics, and he's been a big name at the top of the chess world for a long time. So no surprise him winning the competition.
Yeah, getting in the flow, as you mentioned. And we are joined by CCO of chess.com, Danny Rensch. Danny.
Oh, that's me. Okay.
Talk us through today. It looked like a roller coaster.
What do you guys think? I mean, it was pretty messy in there. The chess got real sloppy. What do you think?
I mean, we should mention to everyone at home, you got 50%, which
I did. I did get 50%.
Always a decent score. Yeah, you mentioned sloppy.
Yeah.
Describe how sloppy.
It was. There were some good moments, but overall, I think I showed what rust is. I think I put on the human display of too weak, too slow at times. But I had a bunch of fun. I was frustrated because I disconnected at the end of that game with Rose Atwell, and I don't know what happened. I'm blaming chess.com, as I should, because the stream was up, so something happened. I was disconnected somehow. So don't know what that was. So then I was like madly like, typing to my team, breaking all the fair play rules, being like, somebody from the fair play team check this as I'm on fair play. So I ended up falling behind big time in the last game. I should have just got killed, but then there were some blunders made that let me come back. So anyway, like a typical chess player, I'm getting up here and talking about positions that nobody can see. But I had a good time. If that's what matters. If you guys brought me here to have a good time, make a few awkward jokes, squeeze in some take references as I was calculating, job done.
And we got the pub later, Danny. Maybe.
We got the pub later.
Maybe.
Maybe some good night chess. I gotta go pack.
Yep.
I was up later last night than I would normally be. All jet lagged playing poker with Oskild, which is a bad idea. Always a bad idea. I've never won when I play with that guy.
I don't think anyone's ever walked into that house and left with their money.
No one ever walks out of that house like not having lost money. So anyway, no, but we'll see what we're up for later. But I really did have a great time. The studio is gorgeous. It's a ton of fun to stream. I said that Magnus better, exercise the demons out of that chair when he gets back, because I left some bad chess in there. And so I think that he might want to get, like where you get the sage and you light it and you do the puja
behind,
and really try to get the demons out. I think someone needs to get the bad chess out of that room.
We did see maybe the highlight or one of the highlights, Danny, where you held David Paravian to a draw in round 1 in a bit of a crazy time scramble.
That was the best. And obviously I think he just lost focus on the 3-move repetition, because he can make a single move and give up the pawn and I'm going to lose on time. Mm-hmm. I was happy with how I played because I felt like it was a draw objectively, and I held what I think was a slightly worse ending for a long time against a really strong grandmaster. So, and then I found out Hikaru was covering it. So that like made my day. Hikaru was covering. I'm like a little kid, like everyone else. Hikaru's covering my game? Like what? So Hikaru was covering my game, and he was, I think, giving me compliments about how I played, although I should probably check on that before I get excited. But Hikaru was covering the game, and I played well, and I was happy to get a draw. He obviously could have made any random move and dirty flagged me, but he just forgot about the 3-move repetition. But shout out to I started off on the right foot.
Yeah, we were covering that latter stage of the game as well, but you might not want to go back and.
I'm happy to look at it if we want. I mean, I don't know what the drill is. You guys are in charge.
It's all good, Danny. Now you've played Title Tuesday. I think your first one in a long time.
Yeah, very long time.
Will we see you back in action a bit more often in the future?
I would love to. It seems to be happening organically. We did a big Christmas show. Just because we wanted to do some content over the holidays and give away some stuff. So I streamed for a couple hours and played, which was a blast. I've kind of loosely thrown the challenge down for Chess Rivals again. We could, people, OGs remember Chess Rivals.
Simon versus Danny, let's go.
That could be fun.
That was a while back now, but let's do it again.
Talking about some sloppy chess, right, between the two of us.
Terrible chess, but quite fun. Yeah,
but it's hard. Like honestly, it's obviously I enjoy it. It's a ton of fun. My first love. For some reason, when the camera turns on, I get more inappropriate, not less appropriate, not more appropriate. I just really the wild side comes out. I just have a ton of fun doing commentary of all kinds, especially streaming. But it's just hard. It's hard to find the time, and there's a lot going on in the chess world. Doing things behind the scenes. So yeah.
And Danny, of course, you're off to London tomorrow, I believe, for the Speed Chess Championship. Maybe talk us through how excited you are for that event.
I'm pumped. We have got a couple days of content ahead with the players and stuff. So the next couple of days will be a ton of fun. There's some VIP stuff going down. There's a lot of celebrities in the London area who are coming to the event, which is going to be fun. So it's going to be an absolutely packed house. We've completely sold out, by the way. We actually, I don't know if you guys know this, we completely sold out of the initial floor plan, and so we extended and bought more space, and we've sold out of that too. So pretty awesome to see what chess is capable of in a live event experience. And so I think the fans will have a blast. As far as the matchups, we've got the main event on Friday is really Hikaru Nakamura versus Alireza Firouzja. No disrespect meant to Denis Lazovic, but obviously he is a massive underdog against Magnus Carlsen, and nobody makes the trip for a consolation prize. But I think Denis would be thrilled if he won the 3rd, 4th place matchup that he may likely be in, right? Just saying. But we'll see. Stranger things have happened, right? Denis Lazovic is also a really like difficult player. If you are not on that day, he doesn't beat himself. He plays a very consistent repertoire, which often can close the gaps even between him and I think some of the world's elite. And we've known that for a long time, as I've said on camera before. You know, that kid was first accused of cheating when he was 13, winning Title Tuesday as an FM. And we're like, no, top players, you're wrong. This is just a very talented kid. And, you know, so I always throw that out there, you know. We've known he was very good for a very long time. He just continues to get better. Very consistent openings that make him a tough out. So if Magnus isn't like playing good chess, like you could see him shock the world. He obviously took care of business against Hans in pretty spectacular fashion. I mean, he won every time control against Hans, dominated that match. And so I think Magnus is the favorite, but I'm just, you know, getting all that out. Hikaru Nakamura versus Alireza Firouzja. I feel like Hikaru wants revenge from Paris. I have no idea what's going to happen in that match, and I have this feeling we might get another Magnus Hikaru final. We'll see. We'll see what Alireza brings. We'll see how that goes down. So, yeah, that's my quick preview. But I'm very excited. Very excited.
Yeah, and the world will be watching the Speed Chess Championships, of course, this weekend. And Title Tuesday, Speed Chess Championship, they're all now part of the Champions Chess Tour, qualifier for the Esports World Cup. How much are you enjoying just this new ecosystem that you've built?
I love it. And I think we're seeing a lot of things come together that we kind of always hoped for and wanted. And it's been a very chaotic few years, you know, in terms of the pandemic boom, you know, the online platforms, chess.com and previously Chess24 and the Play Magnus group invested a lot in sort of filling the gap that over the board chess, you know, left behind because of the pandemic, right? And so you just saw this massive explosion. And then as we came together and everyone was under one roof and we sort of took different steps back and tried to look at what makes the most sense, one of the properties that just organically continued to be, you know, no matter what we wanted people to focus on, you know what the top players loved was like Title Tuesday. Like every Tuesday, the best players in the world were playing no matter what, right? And so there were so many discussions, and I will spare long rants about where we ultimately landed, but to get where we have, where the Title Tuesday habit that everyone has now with an official broadcast that people have wanted for a very long time with stakes, so that Title Tuesday isn't just what's happening on a random Tuesday, which was awesome, but now there are the best players in the world competing consistently for stakes that are massive, not just qualifying for the Speed Chess Championship and the Chess.com Global Championship, but obviously the Esports World Cup with millions of dollars. So I think we couldn't have like ultimately landed in a better place from what was a really chaotic time with just so much chess happening. And I would say the over-the-board chess world continues to be chaotic. There's so many events happening. But as far as where we're at online and how we feel about the ecosystem, I'm excited to grow from here. You know, we had the tour, we contracted a little bit. I'm excited to rebuild and re-expand and continue to build on the backbone of Title Tuesday and where we're at and just see where online esports chess gets us in the next few years.
And you have another tournament on Thursdays now as well, a 3-minute tournament, chess.com.
Yeah,
which is
kind of fun.
Very similar to this, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but also very casual. I mean, and not many people are playing in it yet. It's not meant to be as big of a deal as Title Tuesday. Obviously, the stakes qualifying for these other events kind of speak for themselves, right? I think the participation of the best players in the world consistently tells you, you know, what really matters there. But we hope that 3-0 Thursday can build into something. And probably the most popular time control people always play organically is 3-0 anyway. And yeah, so we thought that made sense. Plus, like, we're really into like cringy, dorky names. Title Tuesday, 3-0 Thursday. Like, you know, what else? It was just needed to happen, so we did it.
Freaky Friday.
Wacky Wednesdays.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll get some other stuff going on soon.
Mucky Monday.
On a serious note, though, who's going to win the Blitz showdown between you guys at the pub tonight?
I feel beaten up already.
I don't want to like.
I was there last night, and I'm suffering a bit today. So, but I'll try. Maybe a beer or two will help. So, like, yeah.
I don't know why our record is what it's wild. We play a lot of really interesting chess. I don't know who usually gets the better of the two of us, but I feel like I win when I play against you. That could just be like a feeling. It could not actually be reflective of the chess. I don't know. What do you...
Well, it could be true. I'll have to check the scorebook. Yeah. So, but
the videos live on YouTube somewhere.
They do.
The clash between you guys.
Chess rivals.
Yeah.
Stat check. I'm curious what the all-time record is. Yeah.
And they're interesting. We always have interesting games.
Yeah.
So that's fun. They're fun games. So yeah.
That just leaves me to say thank you to Danny for joining us as a guest.
Thank you. Come back sometime. You guys are amazing. I love the momentum. By the way, we just kind of looked at the first season, kind of reviewed the leg and kind of looked at where we're at, and viewership is just continuing to grow, and which just is awesome, because I think when you first bring a new show and you're trying to see how fans react, the data speaks loudly, no matter how excited you are about things. But viewership continuing to grow. People are tuning in. They love Title Tuesday. They love where we're going, and you guys get all the credit for that. So thanks for crushing it.
So basically, I'm going to be locked up every Tuesday for the rest of my life.
Get used to it.
But Danny, thank you so much for coming to Oslo. You're welcome back anytime. Simon, thank you for joining us in the studio this week. And of course, for the viewers at home, thank you for joining. Let's see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye for now. But now, can Magnus keep advancing with his king? Can he take that pawn? Oh my God, Magnus is going to lose. Oh no. Queen takes knight was winning. Magnus got checkmated in that exact way last week, but not this time. 8 seconds. Danny, 2 seconds behind, but it's a dead drawn endgame. 1 second. The clock's so red now, and draw by repetition.
Oh my God, I just drew with 0.7 seconds against David Ryan. What is going on here?
Preferring black.
Look at that. Fustino he saw straight away. I love that.
6 seconds. He's going to be a pawn up. This is going to be a ruthless flag from Pranav. Faustino blunders. He pre-moved there. Faustino heartbroken as he resigns.
Here we go.